wonder what they're like. From our viewpoint, Professor, they're either suprahuman or subhuman.
Hello out there in the Twitchiverse. It is the Illumination Podcast, the Disney Lorcana podcast, coming at you in, video. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we are here live testing some Lorcana for all of you. Hope everybody's doing well. And yes, this is version 1.0 of the setup. I know I've been talking about this ad nauseum. If you've been watching content and I've been we're going to do Lorcana. And I just haven't had the chance to really put enough effort into it. I've put a lot of thought, but just not enough effort. So taking a little bit of effort I've put into it and a lot of thought, we managed to get something up and running for a version 1.0 for the live stream. So there are definitely going to be some issues and things we want to add to the stream over time. A lot of quality of life improvements, like this light that's glaring at you from this angle. I got to locate the remote for it. It's in my filing cabinet, which is basically a void. So I will find that. We will be adding a close-up cam for close-ups of cards in case somebody doesn't know what a card does, so we can read it a little easier. For now, this void over here will be largely useless, kind of like the first Challenger event in Atlanta, where we just have this useless box over next to us. But we will have hand cams, and we will have the top-down angle. So I'm going to switch over to that so y'all can check it out, and we're going to start playing. Our first match is going to be Sam on Amethyst Emerald, a more tempo-y style deck, and I will be on Purple-Yellow Hyper Aggro to start. So we'll start there. I don't think this is a match we actually got to test with this tempo deck. So we've been working on testing the tempo deck, so that is where we're going to start. I'm going to kick it off and let you take this mouse away now. You just put it over there so you can manipulate it in case you need to do so.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Excellent. So we're all shuffled up and ready to go. We just got to figure out who's going first. I got a 7.
And I got a 6.
Okay, I'll go first. That's rare. It's because we're on camera. So one of the other quality of life things I want to address is a better solution for a life tracker. Right now we're just using the phone. I think even a tablet might be a little bit more tenable just for visuals. It's just Sam and I down here. As you could see, there's no anybody else, right? So we want to address a few things. It's just without a producer, things like keeping track of life totals digitally is a little bit daunting, and I don't want to take away from that. But we do have the hand cams, so I can cut over to my hand for all of you to see. Don't look, you cheater.
Making sure it was showing.
So I have a lot of stuff that I don't care about. So when I play this deck, I typically want to hard mulligan for a good aggressive line. This hand has none of those components in it. So
The phone looks fine.
phone looks fine, good. I don't like any of these cards. I don't think I'm going to keep any of these. The only one I could maybe see keeping is this right here. But I don't necessarily even think that is worth keeping, so I'm just going to do a full 7 real quick, and I will pick up the new hand so we can see it, and then I'll pitch it over to Sam so she can show you what she's up to. So let me just fan this out for everybody. So this is better. It's not what I would call ideal by any stretch, but it is definitely a better hand. I have a little bit more I can do. I can operate on a curve. My ink's totally fine, which is usually a tension with this deck. So yeah, pretty overall satisfied with that. So if you want to switch over to your hand, I'll shuffle.
Alright, here's my hand. So I think this is just a little, both are just too expensive, so I'm going to put them back. I'm just kind of looking for a good curve with this deck. I'll probably put this back, and then this is uninkable, so I'll put that back. And I think that's fine to start with, especially, you know, going in blind and not knowing what I'm playing.
I am unknown to you.
So I'm going to put back 4.
Yeah. Big thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. Again, we're here live every Sunday, not necessarily Sam and I, but some form of Supraliminal entertainment. And we are every other Wednesday coming at you with the Illumination podcast. New episode on Wednesday. Probably have to come down here and record. Just be easier.
Yeah, now. And I got an alright mulligan, I guess. A couple of the same and a couple better. So, alright.
While you finish shuffling up, I won't kill us with dead air. I will start us off. I will blip. So for mulliganing, or for inking decision, excuse me, I think because we have this going on, that's the direction I want to go. I do like this in the blind because I don't know what they're doing, and that could be a really good tempo, like could ratchet tempo back towards us, and then I still can make another play. So I'm going to lead off probably inking this, playing this. So just a heads up there. I won't switch like this constantly. I just wanted to give you all a heads up as to what's going on here. So I'm going to start by inking Chernobog's Followers, and I'll make Lilo making a wish. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wishing for lore.
Alright, I'm going to ink a Clarabelle, and I'm going to play a Clarabelle.
The
And
double
pass.
of bells. And this is exactly what we were talking about. Draw for turn was quite the good one. So this is exactly what I was alluding to. I think I'm just going to follow up by inking another one of these, but it could be this. But I think it's going to be just another Chernobog's Followers. We will befuddle Clarabelle. And then we will play Daisy Duck. And then we will grab 2 lure and pass back. And if anybody wants me to cut to a hand, or you know, if you want to see something from Samurai, just let us know in the chat. We're trying to keep an eye on it. So
I don't think Ursula does too much against this deck, so I'm going to ink that. And I'm going to just play a double 1-drop with Chernobog's Follower and Clarabelle.
I'm going to ink Donald Duck. I'm going to play Donald Duck. I'm going to choose to put it in Exerted. We'll target Daisy Duck with the ability, and we'll go ahead and quest for 3. Put this up to 5, and you get a
And
trigger.
I'll flip over. It's Bonsai, so it goes into my hand.
And then I will go up to 7 with Lilo and pass back to you.
Alright. I'm gonna ink a goat. I'm gonna quest with Chernobog's Followers. Then I'm gonna pay 3. Do the Madam Mim, pick up the followers. We will take out Donald Duck. And then we will take out Lilo with Clarabelle.
Good.
And I'm good. Pass.
So she's on 3 going to 4, so I don't have to worry about Elsa, which means that I think the card I just drew is going to be the best card to play, but I will have to ink in order to play it. So I'm going to ink Pascal. I'm going to quest for 2 up to 9 with Daisy Duck. Trigger Daisy Duck.
Curse Mopoke in my hand.
And we'll play Sven and ready Daisy Duck.
Okay.
I'll pass.
Draw for turn.
So I think what I'm trying to do is just get high enough to where I can start to close out the game with some of my free lure. Blues, goats, things of that nature. That's what I'm trying to get to here while she's...
I'm going to ink a Chernobog's Followers. And I'm going to play Kit on Daisy Duck just to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to quest just with the fox, because if he wants to trade, I'm fine with that. And I will play a merfolk.
Good.
Good. Pass.
I'm going to play a piglet and a daisy duck, and I'll pass.
Okay.
Now she's getting into where Elsa is a concern, but there's not much we can do. Like, if she has it, she has it. These decks vary in number of Elsa that they play. I'm talking about the 5-drop, the new Elsa. It could be 2 to 4. Anywhere I've seen it varies a little vastly depending on what people do. I don't think any less than 2. So it's really, and if she has it, that's fine. Like, it's not the biggest of deals. Like, she'll be able to take out one of our characters. That's fine.
Clarabelle. And I think I'm going to shift Clarabelle.
Okay. That I don't care for or care about at all.
No, I know you don't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 you up. I'm going to just quest with everything. So 2, 4, 6. And pass. I couldn't really do anything against his board without having removal or anything.
We'll get 5 off the jump. We will daisy duck for 2 more. There's the card I was just talking about.
Ugh.
Make a Baloo. Pass to you.
And that is rough, because that means he's going to gain 2 no matter what, basically.
Yeah, this deck has no way to, like, under the sea or anything like other green decks can, so no real way to deal with Baloo. No let it goes to put it in the inkwell. Just raw banishing to get to other stuff. So we know she has the Elsa. Don't so much care about that. It's just kind of what unit takes out Baloo, which is likely Madame Mim. And then Clarabelle can crash in alongside of Kit and Elsa.
I am going to...
Though a little precarious, actually. Like, Clarabelle may have to take out Sven.
I'm going to play Crab.
Okay.
And I will pump...
Merfolk?
Debating on Merfolk or Kit, so that Kit can take out the Sven. But then that still leaves you with a Piglet. So I think it has to be Merfolk.
Okay.
Just so I can stay in this game.
The offensive, challenging Merfolk. You don't see that too much.
So Merfolk has 3. So if I go in Baloo...
You have to Baloo first.
Yeah, I know. But if I do it with Merfolk, I get to keep Merfolk.
Which is probably better than
Yes.
a damaged
So
Mim.
I'm going to do Baloo with Merfolk.
I gain 2, up to 18.
We're going to go into the
Well, what can you-
Daisy Duck.
Okay. Yeah, Sven has to probably get hit by the damaged Madame Mim, right?
Yep. Damage Madam Mim, and I will trade with Kit.
For Piglet.
Yes.
You got it.
And then I will play a Bonsai.
Okay.
I did not ink, and I'm not going to. Okay, he drew a goat.
19.
I don't think I can win.
Win this turn, I says.
I don't think it's possible. Nope. All right. So
Okay.
next game.
Looks like it's a pretty 50-50 match. Like, if I had not drawn goat there, I think you would have easily taken over the game. Like, but it's
Oh,
close
you just
enough
top
in
decked
lore.
it?
No, I had
Oh,
the
okay.
goat. The turn I had it the turn before I drew Baloo, which was the turn I played Baloo was the turn I drew Baloo. I was like, oh, okay, we'll just play Baloo and then follow up with the goat. Kind of want to play your goats last just because that is the most surprising lore gain, and it's inevitable, right? Like, it comes down and gains it. Baloo, you want to put it down a little bit later so they have to get through it, right? Like, you don't want to play goat and then play Baloo because that's a little strange because Baloo's not guaranteed. He can quest, but the goat's just it's just so free. It's like, okay, cool, I'm at 18, go up to 19. Now, whatever you do to this goat, it does not matter. I wonder if we'll get something that, like, in Magic, it would be like an aura that, like, you put it on it to turn it into something else. Like, the goat becomes a 0/1 that quests for 1, and then it loses its abilities. Something like that, because right now the goat's just, I mean, he is inevitable. You can do whatever you want. You can put him in whatever zone you want.
Let me go to... Yeah.
You're
All
going
right,
first.
so here's my hand. We're going to put back the uninkables. I like having this, especially against this deck. The low-cost creatures are good, and I think I'm just going to throw back both of these just because they're a little high cost for playing it against Hyper Aggro. So I'm putting back 4. I think that's a little bit better. Got a lower curve, so I'm happy with that. Go.
Okay, so this is our opening hand. It's okay. It's better than our last opening hand was. I think I keep these, and I probably put the rest back. There's an argument for keeping this. That's the only thing I'm really thinking about. I just don't want to keep this because of the inkable situation. So, on the whole, like, this is just too expensive. Like, we're not keeping 4s. I think, like, it's a debate on if I want this, and it really depends. So I guess I keep it. Worst case, it is an inkable. That's why that card is so strong. That's why you don't see, like, Pinocchio in this deck, right? Like, we just can't afford to have Pinocchio in the deck. But we can afford to have that. All right, I'll put back 4. And we have drawn mostly fine. We got back one of the cards we mulliganed. Right? Okay, cool. I was just making sure I was addressing the camera. We got that. We have this. We have this. I like everything that's going on here. I think this probably ends up being our first turn ink.
Are you running Gathering Knowledge?
I am not running Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. Mostly because it's uninkable, and this deck's pretty riddled with uninkables, though I do see the benefit as a way to punish wheels in the late game, because then if you just, like, draw 2 of them, you just win. It's like, oh, I'll quest and then just go ahead and gain 4. So it's pretty nasty. I could see it being a 2 or 3 of. If it cost 3 and was inkable, I think this deck would want it, but costing 2 and being uninkable is a little bit of a liability. So as of right now, I haven't found a home for it yet, but I haven't played this a buttload either. Like, this has mostly just been our, like, this is an acceptable build, and we're playing it because it's the scary deck that we should be testing against. So I could definitely see it going in there.
Ready?
Ready.
I'm going to ink Chernabog. Play Chernabog.
First turn draw was not that good, so I think we're going to pivot a little bit away from what I was saying, and I'm going to start off by playing the Goat, and we'll play Public Enemy number 1, Daisy Duck, and pass. Sam will not tell you what she's thinking. She'll just sit there in silence, which makes for excellent broadcast.
Shush.
What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about what my ink is going to be. Because I
Okay,
don't really,
well, how about we talk it out?
I don't really know what I want to ink. I know this isn't super useful in the match, but I could play it now. I don't really like the line of bouncing and doing that just because, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's the right in the situation, but I think it might be what I'm going to do. This was really useful in last game. So, he's cheating.
I didn't see what it was. I just was making sure you were keeping. I saw you go, and then move it around. So I was making sure you got it into the camera.
So, I think I'm just going to ink the Ursula.
That's pretty useless against me.
Yeah. We're going to quest. And then we are going to pick it up with the snake.
Sure.
And pass. I don't think that's great, just because like it doesn't do much against Daisy. But again, take out a lot of your threats.
I am so very happy she made that move, and I will show you exactly why it was terrible.
Why my move was terrible?
Yes.
Oh, great. Are you going to bounce it?
Yep. I'm going to ink the Pooh Pirate
I knew it
Captain.
wasn't the right thing to do.
I'm going to play Lilo Making a Wish. I'm going to befuddle Madam Mim.
Okay.
And I'm going to quest for 2. Let's see here. Earthy Tremor 2. They don't know you're psychic.
Oh, trigger.
Yep. Pass to you. Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's a tough one, right? Like,
We will-
Befuddle's so good for that reason.
Ink Ursula, play Chernabog, and play Bonsai.
How mad would you have been if you Madam Mim snaked and then I befuddled it again? That'd been sweet. Good.
Go. So I could have gotten... No, it's not. It's an item, an action. So Ursula would not have done anything against it.
It's a trickier ink. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So there's two ways we can play this game, and the hand's kind of navigated as such. I think this is the correct line here, given the context of what's out. And then that lets us ink one of these three. I hate having to ink this, especially like with this going on. So this is pretty good, but like that as a follow-up is also very annoying. So I think because of the context of our hand, we want to... I mean, it is possible we just do this and then play Daisy Duck, which is definitely the most ink-efficient line. But then we're like probably inking this, which I think these two are probably better than this one, to be honest. Or sorry, these two are probably better than just this one. So I think this is likely going to be our ink, though you can argue like this could be our ink because this is kind of similar to doing this. But I think this is still more powerful. Yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. So I'm going to try it the inefficient way by inking Donald Duck. And we are going to play Maleficent, biding her time. And then we will bodyguard a Simba, protective cub. And I'm going to quest for 2 with Daisy Duck. Trigger. So the reason why we want to do this is because, like, so obviously Madam Mim punishes us, and that's fine. It is what it is. But what I'm thinking is, if you don't have the Madam Mim, what we have is a Simba who Bonsai can trade with, which is great, and then Chernobog cannot take out Daisy Duck. Bonsai, similarly, if you have the Madam Mim, you could like Chernobog's quests, then you Madam Mim, take out Simba, and then Bonsai can hit Daisy Duck but not take her out. Bonsai could then trade with Simba, and then Madam Mim could take out Daisy Duck, and that still puts me in a pretty good spot, I think, based on the context of my hand. So I think on the whole, we're pretty good. The key is going to be us drawing an inkable, I think. Go ahead.
Okay. I do have the Madam Mim.
You got to draw for turn there.
Oh, yes, I do.
You're the host of a Lorcana podcast and you don't even draw for turn?
No, apparently not.
Apparently
We're
not.
going to ink Snake. We are going to Madam Mim, pick up the Chernobog.
Yep. So this is the exact situation I talked about.
We're going to take out Simba. Then we are...
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like. I kind of don't mind because now the situation she's in, I'm still going to get lore, right?
I think I just quest.
You probably have a unit to play. At least Merfolk I saw.
Yeah. And I picked up Chernobog.
Yeah. Is Chernobog better? Because then you could challenge one of these little knuckleheads.
True.
That
Yeah,
thing, I'm
I
happy
will
for
do.
you to play. Like, so that means it can't be right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thrilled to see you play a Merfolk because you're slower than I am. So it means probably it's not the right play. Draw for turn. Okay. Herm. A couple different ways we can navigate this. Cut back to my hand here. So we can continue doing this. Like I could ink this, play this. Which is probably the most straightforward line, but we're pretty low on lore. Like I could definitely get 6, go up to 10 right now. Like that's not a problem. I could also use this after a quest to bounce and then replay. Which is fine. Like, it's good, but it's not great. Especially, again, we're coming into the Elsa turns. So we have to be aware of that. So it's like, if I did do that, I would probably want to ready Daisy Duck. It would let us then counter, like, Bonsai, but I think this is probably just better just sitting on the board. But then it's like, is it just better to do this? I think the answer is probably yeah on this turn. And then the question is then, what do we do with our assemblage of small critters here? And I think the answer is probably quest, though we empty the board. So it's like, it's pretty precarious.
Bonsai trade into Mim for killing Daisy, not the better trade. I didn't want to lose my lore advantage, was my thought. Especially with him being lower than he would. Like, the last game, he was up pretty high. So that was just my thought. And I didn't really want to trade Bonsai just because he is a 2 lore creature that can keep up with this deck. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
I think it really depends on your hand, right? Like the role you're in with this deck is trying to put out you're trying to curve into things and try to keep control. Like you're playing more like a Steel Song style, right? Where you're trying to control the board in this matchup and get lore when you can. So if that helps you, great. Like if you feel like, okay, cool, he gets 6, he goes up to 10, and then I can take over the game from there, then that's the right play. But against aggro, you're likely always behind until you get on board.
that's true.
Right? So you can wrestle board control away. So then, so I'm thinking, what do I do about Elsa? That's the card that's really on the tip of my tongue. So Elsa can hit Daisy Duck, and then Bonsai could finish off Daisy Duck, and that wouldn't hurt the Madam Mim at all. That's concerning. I don't think I want to play the Pooh Pirate Captain, so I think he becomes ink in every scenario, right? Because if I play him and then she Elsas, and that's just a nightmare scenario for me. So I think that is why that becomes ink, which means I should likely play a little bit more conservatively. So I'm going to go ahead and just play out the goat. I'm going to quest with Daisy Duck for 2. So you get a trigger from Daisy Duck. Yep. You have that expensive card. I'm cool with that. I don't think I quest with the little people, and pass.
Draw for turn. Alright. We're going to ink this little Ursula. So,
Do you need me to cut to your hand?
if you want to, I am going to quest with this Madam Mim.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want it to go away. I have another one, so I'm going to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another one as backup, and then take out Daisy. Then I am going to quest.
Not drawing a card?
I'm thinking about it. I mean,
Do you need to cut back to the overhead? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, you can cut back to the overhead. So I think I'm going to draw a card just because Goat could take it out for free. And then I'm going to quest with Bonsai. And we will play a Curse Merfolk.
Mm-hmm.
And pass.
Quest.
Okay.
Up to 9 now from the trigger. We'll follow your Bonsai. Take out your Madam Mim. I know you have another one, but that's a pretty big time commitment on your part, so I will pass to you. And 1 Madam Mim does not take out 2 units.
Draw for turn. We are going to ink this big Ursula that I don't think does anything in this match.
She made those Cursed Merfolk.
She did. I'm going to... No, that doesn't work.
Do you want to cut to your hand, or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm going to quest with Curse Merfolk up to 10. Fox the Merfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Take out one of them.
Yep.
And then I am going to Cloud Kicker the Lilo.
Good.
Yep, and pass.
have 6 cards?
Yes.
That's a lot. There's a lot of ways to navigate this. This card we drew for turn is very questionable. I'm going to anchor Dolores Madrigal. Could have played it and drew a card, which would give us 3 cards in hand, which is kind of nice. But I think just being able to replay Goat and then play Lilo again is a little bit stronger. Diversify our threats a little bit. Dolores is nice, don't get me wrong. Like, drawing cards is great. But play Dolores, and then she's able to exert it. It's just such a punish.
Alright, I'm just gonna quest for 2. And I'm just gonna load up the board and try to race. Bonsai, Curse Merfolk.
Yep.
And pass.
8, that's lethal. So we have to respond, which is not something this deck does terribly well. Tricky bit of business. She's not going to do anything, so she definitely quests here. Our draw was Daisy Duck. We play Daisy Duck. I think we take down Kit, right? Because that's 2, 4, 6, 7, put you at 19. Obviously, you can go. That is a legal play. If I trade, I have no chance to quest next turn. So I'm in a spot here where if you can't goat, you have to respond and at least send something at the Lilo, which will likely be the Madam Mim and go up to 18, but I'm cool with that. So that's where I'm at with that one.
All right. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to friend on the other side.
She can still ink and goat. That was the face of somebody who did not draw a goat. You can't see it at home, but trust me on this one.
17. So we take out. God.
It's a tricky. Like, I think you want to take out Lilo most likely.
If I take out Lilo with Fox, I keep it.
Yep.
So 2 damage. We'll take out Goat with Bonsai.
17.
Yep.
Watch me rip Goat after
You
playing
probably
no card
will,
draw.
because that's my my luck. We're gonna quest for 4.
Yep. Once
Let's
again,
get the 16.
lethal damage.
Ink.
Yeah. You're just playing stuff, right? Like, you're just
You're
playing
welcome.
units. Like, that's the
And
most important
then-
thing here is just play stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can only play one thing,
Holy shit.
but I think I'm gonna play Snake, bounce the Merfolk, and then replay the Merfolk.
Okay. It's the only thing Daisy could have taken out, so I support it. Well, I mean, Madam Mim, but that's not doing much. Good.
Mm-hmm. Did you grill it?
No.
Okay.
And then obviously Sam will quest on her turn and win. So we'll do a game 3. I get to go first.
This matchup seems like it might be a little bit more draw.
Dependent.
Yeah. Draw.
Definitely.
play.
I mean, that feels like you get both decks are very, very interested in going first, right? Like, you just getting something down on the board first. You get a Chernobog's Followers. I can get Daisy Duck or a 1/1/2 or something. That's a big deal. Like, being the first to act and then being able on, like, my turns to befuddle your response is significant tempo. And that's why the aggro decks tend to play 4 copies of Befuddle, right? Is because it's just like me being able to play a 1-drop, the following turn play a 1-drop and befuddle your 1-drop that would stop me is really rough. Like, being able to do it on the Snake there was pretty nasty. Like, setting you back 2 turns was pretty gross.
Yeah, because next turn I would have been able to. I had Fox.
Right. I will go first. I'll take 7 cards, and then I'll take a look and show everybody what we got. Yeah. So this is our hand. Once again, kind of a weak hand. I think these two I'm interested in. I am interested in this. This is a game 3, right? Like, we're not playing unknown and trying to just test in the blind. So I think I'm going to keep these 3 because it's pretty strong. If I draw into another 1-drop, this looks really good. So I think we'll go ahead and put back 4. And I'll kick it over to you.
All right. So here's my opening hand. It looks pretty weak. We got a lot of expensive cards. This is uninkable. I think I'm throwing back. This could be argued to keep just because it has looked good for a couple games, but I don't think I'm going to.
This has been effective. I'm putting it back.
It's been all right. These two I definitely want to keep. So yeah, I'm gonna put back 5. All right, and that's definitely a little better. Ink situation's a little precarious, but definitely a better opening hand.
So I have drawn into this, and this. Not ideal, not horrible. So we're going to give it our best run. I think it's going to be a tough one, but we'll see. All right. So I will lead it off. I think I'm going to ink a Simba, and we'll play Lilo and pass.
Off turn. We will ink this really expensive Queen, and we will play Clarabelle. And pass. I do like Clarabelle against this deck because she has the 2-butt, so she could take out a Lilo and survive.
100% inking a Sven. I'm going to make Pascal. And we'll befuddle Clarabelle.
Yeah.
And we'll grab 2. And I'll pass to you.
Alright, we will ink the snake, and I'm going to double Clarabelle. Pass.
Draw for turn. Okay. It's an interesting one. For sure, we quest with Pascal. Given the fact that she can Fox on her turn, I think it's going to make that a little bit... It makes bodyguards look a little bit less impressive. So I think we will ink Simba Protective Cub. Quest with Lilo for 2. Play Madam Mim Snake, which will allow us to pick up Lilo, and then pay 1 and replay Lilo. And I will pass to you. Just trying to keep maximum pressure on the board. Trying to keep the least vulnerable units pre-Elsa as possible.
I'm going to ink Chernabog's Followers. And I can't really do anything about his board. So I'm going to play a Bonsai.
Yep.
And I'm going to play a Curse Mofolk. I think I'm going to quest for 2.
I think you kind of should. Like, I don't think that opens up a lot. Like, what am I going to do? Madam Mim into 1?
Right.
Good.
Yep. And if you do, I'm kind of happy that's just a less lore for you, I think.
Right.
Befuddle.
We'll befuddle Bonsai. We'll go ahead and grab 4 up to 9. And we'll play Lilo making a wish. And I'll pass. Just being able to throw back an uninkable into her hand that threatens the board feels great. Like, this is pretty anemic, and, like, if she foxes, I don't care.
We're going to ink the goat.
Yep.
Take out Lilo. Quest.
Yep. Damage to Clarabelle going back.
Trade.
Yep.
Quest for 2.
Good.
Yeah. Maybe that should have been just the Clarabelle, but I also want to be able to keep up with the lore.
Gotta win somehow.
Yeah.
We'll grab 3. Oh, hang on. We're going to play better than that because I forgot what this thing is.
He's cheating.
Donald Duck will grab 4.
Mistrigger judge.
I have the power to turn back time. Go ahead. Oh, that's what we want.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 you go up to. I don't think I'm winning this one.
My hope is that was the only fox.
It was.
Elsa turn, though, but that'd be Elsa Clarabelle, and then you're tapped out.
I'm going to ink a goat.
Yep.
Play rabbit.
Mm-hmm. When in doubt, draw them out.
Play a Clarabelle.
Yep.
I can't take out the Donald, so I'm just going to quest.
Yeah, I think at this point you're just hard pivoting to try to race as much as you can, which is the line you set up for last turn, to your credit.
Yeah.
So you go...
Yeah, and I don't think I got punished for not playing Clarabelle.
17, I mean, it's not unreasonable, but you inked a goat, right?
I inked 2 goats.
Yeah, that's problematic.
As I said in the beginning, my own inkable count was a little precarious.
Right. I'm not saying right or wrong, I'm just saying that's rough. I'll pass. I think it's going to be a really hard board for you to deal with, so... Aggro gonna aggro.
Alright. Well, we did last turn draw off of that fox. A fox.
Okay.
I mean, off of that
rabbit.
A fox.
So you got some damage you can do. So Clarabelle and rabbit into Donald Duck? Fox. And then it leaves a Clarabelle open to get Lilo. Then the Pascals are the problem.
Quest for...
2, 4, 6, 7 up to
So I think I want to
17.
quest as much as possible. So I think I just quest with Clarabelle.
Okay.
3 for my fox. Pick up the Clarabelle.
Sure.
And take out Donald.
Duck's down. So you have the impossible combo of Pascal.
I do have that, but you don't... I mean, unless you have goat in hand. Which he didn't say anything, so maybe he does.
Okay. So you're just full race? Nope, you're going to hit Lilo. Okay.
We got... So that's... 16.
Yep.
And we will ink a snake, play a bonsai and a Clarabelle, and pass.
Okay.
So I think you need goat.
Card in my hand is not a goat.
Okay.
That I don't think does anything. I don't think. Take out the merfolk, you still have enough to quest for the win, right? Merfolk down, then 2. So no matter what I do, I think you got it if I can't win. So Chromacon will draw cards. I can ink a fox, and all I have left is a Baloo. So I go up to 19, and you get it.
All right.
So a very close matchup, as most of the time the aggro deck makes it a close matchup, at least in terms of lore total.
So this deck seems like it's got a kind of race in a way, like with a slight amount of...
Right, you're tempoing, right? Like you're trying to eke out
Take
an
my
advantage.
good trades.
Yeah. Right, take the edge when you can, put yourself ahead, but also know when to just pivot off and try to gain lore for the win. So. Okay. So that was the green. Purple, you want to switch it back to us? No, that's not what that. We're still getting our, hi. We're still getting
Controls right.
Huh?
The controls right.
Yes. Yeah, so, if you're not familiar with our setup, we used a setup in the past. We're downstairs in the basement studio for this one. What we're trying to do is kind of get everything technically worked out, okay, and try to figure out what's working and what's not working so we can continue to improve this setup for all of you and make it hopefully one of the better streams possible, at least given what we have. So it's Sam and I. There's no producer on this particular one. We have our little black magic switcher, which is directly underneath of us. So if you see us reaching across the overhead setup, what we're doing is changing camera angles. So we have 3 cameras right now, and our laptop, right? So the laptop is what you're looking at now. Hi. Above our head, I think it's slightly out of shot. Oh. Can you hold the bottom of the laptop so I can crane up? There it is. That's our webcam there. Little camcorder action.
Hand cams and swapping between was pretty awesome. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, so I figure that gives us the best chance. A little bit clunky just in terms of the fact there's no producer to cut, right? Like, nobody's doing that. We're just pushing a button on the switcher. But it's giving you at least, I think, enough coverage to understand what we're talking about and try to give you an idea of what we're doing, what our thought process is. And I think it's visible enough. Hopefully the lighting situation is not too god-awful. I think it came out okay. We can always be more light, but the problem you have with cards when they're sleeved is there's a glare. So I think we've done a pretty good job of eliminating hot spots, though Superliminal Entertainment's been filming card games for years now. It's always a challenge. Every time you set up in a new space, it's a challenge to figure out how can we put the lights in a way that don't interfere with the cards. So we have one main light here that's coming down as our key that is on a softbox. That's why it kind of looks like it's all crazy big orb of light. That's going to soften the light coming down on the cards. I have a light over Sam's shoulder here that's up, bouncing off of the white ceiling and coming down to disperse light, and then over Sam's other shoulder, because this is kind of this area right here in front of us, the corner of our playmats is like a dead zone of darkness. So I put in one fill light there, which is just one of those cheapy little Home Depot can lights that has tracing paper over it for diffusion. Pedals? Oh, that'd be interesting. Be like drum pedals. Yeah, we have the little Blackmagic Mini that's right on the desk in front of us. That's like right here, and we're using the natural webcam on the laptop. So when Sam is switching to this angle, she actually has to click with the mouse in OBS and swap and hide unhide this particular layer. And then when she's going to the switcher, we have to hit the buttons to switch back and forth. So there you go. I'm going to play my favorite deck right now, which is green-yellow, lemon-lime, the Sing Together Under the Sea deck, because I want to try to figure out, I think that the deck Sam is playing absolutely slaughters this green-yellow deck, and I've done pretty well. It's how I earned this playmat, was with this particular deck last season. I think it's very, very good. I still think it's quite good. I just think that it needs to figure out a way to deal with some of the stuff that Sam has going on. I've yet to get a good discard-based hand. That's my theory on the right way to beat that deck is with discard. So I'm going to try to do that for all of you, hopefully effectively. So if you want to
open a pack,
switch it back. I think we should wait and open packs only if there's followers or subs. We do. If you want to follow or sub, we have some packs here with some Shimming Skies packs. We got some Inklands packs. We will open them on stream. So all of you, I don't know if you like pack openings or not, but if you're out there watching and you want to see a pack get opened, if you follow or sub, we'll open a pack, and we'll even let you pick which one. As long as we only have 3 and 3. So, if you the fourth person, you can't pick Shimmering Skies if everybody else does. So we'll open a pack if you're into that kind of thing on the stream for sure. So I am on the Amber Emerald Sing Together deck. Sam is still on the Emerald Amethyst Tempo deck. We'll see who goes first. Oh boy, not me. That's much more in keeping with how things go when we roll dice.
I will go first.
I bet you will.
How are you going in my hand?
That's right. You're first.
All right. Ooh. I think we have quite a few things that are too high in cost.
Oh, that looked like a follow. Oh, I didn't set up the follower on this one. I'm an idiot. I don't even think I have Streamlabs open.
It was
Earth the Tremors. Appreciate the follow. So you can just click back in. Oh, yeah, there you go. Perfect. And I will. That's another thing I got to work on is I got to get that element into the into here. So we'll open up a pack for you. Remind me after this game, and we will open the pack. If you're not gonna be able to stick around through the game, also let me know, and we'll stop the game in the middle and open it.
So we are gonna put away these 5 cards because they're just all too high of a cost. So I'm gonna put them back. We're gonna draw up 2, 5, and that's much better. I think the main thing I'm just always looking for in this deck is just a good curve. So we got some good inkables, we got some good curve here. Yeah, Max?
Oh, this hand is a tricky one. So normally, when we're not testing, I tend to go for, so I'm playing the queen in this build because of Daisy Duck. Before I was not. I was using Kita shifts more than queen shifts. But the queen is actually pretty good in this deck because she can shrink a unit and then you can under the sea still. So it's totally fine. She's perfectly serviceable and can shift quickly, which is nice. So you can start singing Brunos very fast, which I like a lot. So normally I would keep this, and I would probably in the blind, which I'm not going to do because we're testing specifically, I would keep this just because I'd be trying to set up a shift line. Because of the way I want to do this, I know this card is actively terrible in this matchup. These are both uninkable and cost 8.
I didn't know what you were playing.
And well, I think I need that for any chance to win. So I think this might be the line. I don't love the tension here. So I think I might put this back. Because like I said, discard is what I'm after. So it's like I kind of want this. But it's just such a hard card to keep in your opening hand where it's like I could go into this and try to run things this way. Though maybe I'll do it the less intuitive way and I'll keep the awkwardness and try it. Because maybe it's just correct to try to set up for the discard. So I'll do 3. But like normally my favorite thing to keep are the shift lines so I can like Diablo. You can switch. So I can Diablo and all that kind of stuff. Oh wait, you can go back.
Because I knew you didn't do that.
Picked up. Yeah, I didn't do that. So this is what I picked up. This is what we kept. So I think this is a relatively good spot. Like, this is obviously something, and now this is something. So it's kind of like a question of which direction do I go? Like, because I have to decide. I think the answer is going to be ink this, play this, and then I will just get to this at a point if I can. Though maybe we'll see what, it really, really depends on what my first turn draw is, I think. So that's where I'm at.
All right, good.
Yep.
All right, so I will start us off. I'm going to ink a Chernobog's Followers and play a Chernobog's Followers and pass.
All right, so that will change some things, I think, for us. Just got to figure out what we're inking now. I think we'll ink 1-drop Queen and play Diablo and take a peek at your hand. So the Ursula's coming down, so I don't have a choice. I have to discard now and shift. Just because I have to get the song out of my hand before Ursula comes down and takes it. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Kit is not the card I want to see, but that's not a big deal. I'll still get some Diablo triggers before that happens, which is nice.
Him doing that makes me not want to play the Ursula. But
yeah, but that could just be me posturing.
Right.
Too.
Like it's like I don't know if he has another song in there. So I think I'm gonna play it. We'll draw card first.
That's always a good choice.
So I should have done it before I inked, but
100%. And just to throw that out there to everybody so they know, like that is Sam called it out perfectly. Is you should always if you sequence your whole turn, think about what you want to do on the grand scale. Don't go thing by thing. So just make sure you're doing that. Prince John, Ariel, the Muses, and the big
So
queen.
like I suspected he doesn't have any now. All right.
Good?
Yep.
Pick these up. I think we're going to ink the big queen here now with the little queen gone. We need to kind of hit our middling cards. We're going to go ahead and quest for 1 lore eventually if I can tap it. And I have nothing else on 2, so I am good. You want to read that out?
I never know when to pop churn. Feels like the highest skill expression card in the game. Well, that and the broom that does a similar thing.
Yeah.
It is very hard. I draw with you.
Yep. All right. So I am going.
I have a feeling I'm going to have my next turn
ink
ink.
Crab. And I am going to play Kit. Bounce your Diablo. And I will quest for 1.
Yep.
And
Good.
that'll end my turn. I think like when popping Chernobog's dependent on the deck you're playing. Like a blue steel deck, for example, like you can probably get a few quests out of it before there's an issue.
Just putting back Diablo because it's one of the more problematic cards for this matchup. Like, Sam really doesn't deal with it well, and she's
And
not to
Claire
Elsa's turns yet,
fell.
so... Jesus.
Bounce.
Alright, that's
Back to
really
hand.
bad.
We're going to play a Merfolk, and then
Yeah.
we're going to quest for 2
Yep.
and pass.
I think if you know your opponent's deck is a little slower getting to.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to ink Bare Necessities. We'll play Aerial.
Mhm.
2, 3, 4. Take a we don't talk about Bruno. Unfortunately, I think that's it.
Alright. Keep. Draw. So I just drew Friends on the Other Side. So I think I want to sing with Kit just to get my options.
So you're saying you should not draw cards last.
Correct. That's true. It is a win when your Chernobog gets the removal.
Yeah, good call.
Alright, and I'm going to quest with Ursula. And I know he just drew a song, so I'm going to pick up the Ursula. And then I'm going to replay it.
That'll probably be Lights Out.
Oof. Gotten a lot of songs since I last checked. I think it's gotta be Under the Sea, because that just wrecks my entire board.
Yup. That's
Alright.
why I think it's Lights Out.
We will ink Chernobog's Followers, and we're going to play the Curse Mofolk. And we are going to quest for 3. And I played the Curse Mofolk because even if he were to draw another Under the Sea, he wouldn't be able to sing it before I get to quest with all of these.
Good.
Yep.
You have 1 card in hand?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing Aerial because it's our best chance of finding Under the Sea. That's just the card I have to be playing at this point. Like, there's just no question about it. Ink, you're welcome. And we'll sudden chill. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Go ahead.
Alright, we're just going to quest 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So up to 16. And we will play a Bonsai. I'm okay with playing the Bonsai just because Under the Sea wouldn't take him out without another card.
Good.
Yep.
Linkita. She's not good here, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
The debate is just what am I hitting things? Like, I could hit one thing and take it out. Already inked. Should leave that face up so I remember. It's basically what am I hitting? Like, what do I want to take out? Curse Merfolk probably is the right target. So we'll take out and Curse Merfolk. Discard a Prince John, ironically. This Aerial likely has to Bruno the Bonsai. That is a song, so it'll trigger. We'll bounce a Cursed Merfolk. Actually, is it better to bounce a Kit? Because then, like, if you bounce Ariel, I don't care. Well, it has to be Merfolk, I think, right? Because then I have to...
Because you have to still take out
Yeah,
one
so
more
we'll
thing.
bounce Cursed Merfolk. Bare Necessities. And then I will bounce... Yeah, I guess Kit. That's all I got.
Okay.
Maybe I should have bounced Madam Mim Snake.
Want to trade it?
No, I can't because she doesn't have enough.
Okay,
Low enough
yeah.
strength. I'm good then. I was like,
Alright.
there was a reason, and then I pivoted. But yeah, you can kind of see that this deck, it does two things really effectively. Is it kind of shreds your hand with Ursula, and then
Plus for 3.
it provides big statted characters, and it just really makes this deck struggle. I think had she not gotten the Under the Sea, that probably would have been a whole different ball game.
We'll pick up Ursula,
Sure.
ink this, and then play them both. Okay.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do here? Not a ton. Song is probably the best draw of Sunstripe, and it was not.
Okay.
Just because that would give me some form of aerialing, so I could have gone Ursula. If I had aerialed, I would have seen not much. I'm not sure which one was on top, but the hope would have been for, like, Painting the Roses red is probably the best draw into Under the Sea. Like, those would have probably had to be the 1 and 2.
And you're playing 3 Under the Sea?
3 Under the
Right.
Sea.
Okay.
I'll go first. It would be nice if I could ever do that, by winning a die roll.
You won the first die roll.
I was not playing with this deck.
No.
I'm not talking about the other deck. So, the discard notion seems to be... And again, we've talked about this, our 5th game now testing these two decks, and I have yet to find a good discard opener. Like, I just can't find Sudden Chills. Bare Necessities, obviously doing a lot of heavy lifting against most decks, doesn't do much against the Emerald Amethyst deck, just because they have... What are you playing? Playing like a couple of your welcomes, and... yes, we were Earthly Tremors, a pack. So
Did you want us to open an Inklands pack or a Shimmering Skies pack?
Yep. Tremors, you got pick. I'm going to do hands while we do that, and then we'll pivot. We'll stop after that to give you a chance to toss it into chat what you want. If not, we're just going to pick one for you. Oh, nope. Thought that was a new chat. Over to me. Over to my shoulder. Yeah, once again, no good discard in this hand. I think I'm going to try these two, because again, I'm trying something just a little bit different than normal, and I don't think any of these really help me in that way. Like, I could keep this to try to, like, optimize shifting, but I think all I really care about is trying to find discard, so I'm going to pitch 5, and we'll take a look at what those are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a little bit better. I don't love seeing a second one of those. That's a pretty annoying one to have to deal with. The question is kind of like, what is our early ink? I think it's going to be this. We're on the play, so we can ink 2 times before Ursula comes down. So it'll probably be these two, most likely, that end up being some of our first ink. The best draw in the deck is obviously that thing. So we will see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. And my hand.
Earthly Tremors, don't forget, you got to pick what kind of pack to open.
Alright, so we're just going to put away
And thank you for the follow.
the expensive cards. I don't think we need doubles of those. This card is really good in the matchup, so I want to keep that. So yeah, we're going to put away 3. And our mulligan wasn't too bad. We got one of the same that we put back, which is okay, but yeah, not too bad. I'll just do a Shimmering Skies.
We'll just wait. We can stop in the middle if we need to and open a pack.
Okay.
I'll give Earthly Tremors the chance to pick. They were kind enough to follow.
Alright.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Following the plan by inking Bare Necessities, playing Diablo. And of course there is. Can't ever not have an Ursula. I don't think we've had a game yet where you haven't had Ursulin too. Go ahead.
We will ink this big Clarabelle.
Sam has this penchant for cheating, where
He's lying.
whatever card is really good in the matchup.
That's not even the card I was talking about when I said
Last set it was Brawl. She would just draw them. Like, she'd always have them. Like, they're like extra copies she'd keep in her lap, and then just draw them.
He's lying.
That is a whole ass truth.
You can start cutting.
I'm gonna have to. We'll ink painting the roses red, and we will grab one lure, and I think we'll pass just because there's choices she'll have to make once she plays the Ursula and yada yada.
We will ink the Smerling Goat.
It's a toughie.
With having the You Have Forgotten Me, it makes me kind of want to take Sudden Chill. He's a ways away from We Don't Talk About Bruno because he doesn't have a singer for it. Like if he had an Ariel, then it might be more tempting to take. So I think I'm going to take Sudden Chill. Yeah, I'll quest for 2.
Yep.
Pass.
Ink the little queen. Play Prince John. I'll hit your Curse Merfolk and discard Prince John. Go ahead. So the reason we don't talk about Bruno is because, like, if she has another Ursula, she can play it, but if that's all she's adding to the board, totally fine with that. If she has a Fox to bounce it, I'll just ink it. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't really, like, if that's all she's going to do is spend her turn 2 playing an Ursula, cool with me. We'll get to attack her hand that way with Prince John next turn, so that's totally fine.
It's a rough ink. I think I'm going to ink the snake.
Sure.
I'm going to play a crab and pump the Ursula to take out the Diablo, just so you can't shift
Vicious.
a Diablo and
Good.
pass.
I'm going to ink the We Don't Talk About Bruno. The reason being this turn is because then she can get into things like Snake plus Re-Ursula, and I just don't want her to take cards out of my hand if I can help it. I have to ink before I play You Have Forgotten Me, so it's not like I have the luxury of waiting to see what I draw of Prince John. So
Just 1 card?
2 cards.
No, in here.
Oh, I have 1 card. Yeah, it'll be 3 after the John trigger. Yep, I'll draw 2. 1, 2. I'll pass.
I think you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels like this match is a lot more comfortable once I can get the discard running. So maybe it's just putting it. So right now I'm playing 3 You Have Forgotten Me in this build, so it might be worth considering going up to a 4th. I could also see bringing back Sir Hiss because he's such an annoyance. Like, he's just a good statted, hard-hitting 2. So it might just, I hate how slow Sir Hiss is, but it might be worth it. Like, I thought the Queen would be a good enough choice. Queen is just, I think even with the shift is a little bit clunkier than I would like, and I don't think I'm as afraid of Daisy Duck as I initially thought I might be. So I think Sir Hiss is an acceptable choice to bring in. So thinking about that. I'm
just going to quest for 2.
And some lists are still playing Sir Hiss. That was a pretty big staple.
And
last season.
pass.
2 cards? 2 cards?
Well, here's the thing. You have 2 more You Have Forgotten Me in the deck, so hopefully you don't have it. I don't want you to, if you have a Sudden Chill, I don't want you to discard my last card in hand.
Okay.
So if you have You Have Forgotten Me.
Good beats?
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
I don't have You Forgotten Me. think we're just going to ink You're Welcome. I don't think there's any unit in Sam's deck that's worth the You're Welcome outside of Ursula. That could come down as early as next turn. That is on my mind. If I had an easier or more effective way to deal with this Ursula, I totally would. But Prince John would put 1 damage counter on it and then get immediately snapped off by a crab. So I don't have that luxury. I guess you could argue that I should hold this and play this. So we'll do that. Take a look at your hand before we ink.
I have a fox and an Elsa.
Okay, cool. Then that doesn't matter. So to do all that, but I can play. I think we'll just stick with Diablo and pass. I could play more, but I just feel like ink is something that might come up in this matchup. Like, it's often where I feel constrained. So, like, if she wants to put down an Elsa, exert my little Diablo and hit it, she is more than welcome to do so. The Fox, it obviously doesn't do it. Like, if she wants to preserve Merlin or she wants to pick up Ursula to just, like, take another bite at my hand, potentially, that's all fine, too. Like, I kind of don't care about any of that too much.
Insert.
Yep.
I'll do it with her.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I can still quest for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then pass. I love this little Ursula. I mean, Elsa, but I hate that she only has 2 strength.
We'll play our own little Ursula, and we knew what it was. We just want to get a body on the board. We'll go ahead and ink a little queen, and I'll pass.
Okay.
Just going to ready this over here so it's out of the way.
You have 1 card?
Just 1.
Alright, so I think here I'm just going to do the Ursula, bounce Ursula, and replay it.
Why?
Just in case.
It doesn't mean anything. I can't sing it, but it just seems like an odd choice to me.
It was just ink efficient.
Instead
and
of
I could
picking
take the
up
damage.
Elsa to then just challenge an Ursula sitting around doing nothing on the following turn. Like, it just seems like you're not being turn effective, like you're trying to play the high upside, which worked out in this case, but it just seems like it's not the correct line here. Like, it seems like you should be playing turns ahead and not just playing to be efficient this very turn when you don't really need to be. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you would have Elsa for things like that, which seems way more effective than 1 card 1 time. We'll take Painting the Roses red. Put these back. The other choice was Bare Necessities, and that's just a nothing card. Like, that's just pure ink. This is a debate on if there's a spot to pick or choose to use it. Like, can obviously, like, shrink down Merlin Crab, for example, and put a damage on it. Not very good here, but it's a debate. I think, so there's kind of like, when you're playing in this position, you're thinking about it 2 ways. Like, we obviously need to find a couple of key cards. The Muses, Under the Sea, Kita are all really important pieces. So it's like, if I find Kita, then if I can find Under the Sea, then I'm in a good space. So it's like, there's an argument for just kind of like what Magic players would refer to as cycling Painting the Roses right here, because I would use up my ink efficiently. I could also sing it with Ursula, just to shrink a couple of things and draw a card. It's like, I don't really care if she hits the Ursula too much, because these two still sing Under the Sea. So it's a question of, do I want to do that? Like, I could shrink Merlin, and I could shrink Madame Mim. Not that that would matter, but I can't sing yet because Ariel's still drying. So the question is, do I want to spend this now to replace it with a new card, or would I rather ink it to try to set up? I think the card might be a little bit better here, so I am going to sing with Ursula. We'll paint the roses red, and I'll get those 2 and draw a card. Okay. Not the worst card ever. Can't play it this turn, but I don't think that is a particularly big deal. I'll pass. I think we just want to find cards more than we are worried about ink at the moment.
Play Bonsai.
Yep. And that's the tough part about this deck, too, is I don't get to punish any of Sam's plays. Like, the picking up and putting Ursula down, just kind of like, there's nothing I can do about it. Just, okay, you got it. That's what makes the deck. That's what makes the matchup feel bad in terms of matchups. So I'm really not in love with that. We have day one-ish. Appreciate the follow. Let us know if you want us to open a pack of Shimmering Skies or a pack of Into the Inklands in honor of your follow. We have both available. Yep. There's no reason to not challenge my units with this deck because you don't want me to just be able to do too much with songs. Like, imagine I use Ursula to sing another Painting the Roses Red, and then I have Under the Sea. So, like, cutting off my units is good, like, especially for, like, one lore. I think that was a totally valid one here. That was, like, two of the worst draws, truthfully. Like, and that's the thing is, it's just, like, we can't really challenge. Like, am I going to trade my Ariel into a Madam Mim? Probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts you up to 18. It's just so trivial for you to win from that position. I'm going to play Naveen with no trigger. Pass.
Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't even think Sam's really had to think too much this game. And that's, like, the problem is, like, it's not even engaging for her to win this match, which is why it just feels like this deck really struggles in this match because she's just, you know what I mean, kind of going through playing her cards.
And I don't even think it's worth playing anything here just in case you were
to draw Under the Sea.
Right.
Or, like, the perfect, as it
yeah.
were. Good.
So, yeah. You have 3 characters, so you could take out, which would leave me with 2.
Just a stream of uninkables. Not much coming either. And that's the thing is this deck is so clunky in terms of like being able to cast multiple spells or actions, whatever, that not being able to catch back up quickly is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I probably need to move back into Sir Hiss just to like take you off of like, oh, you used a bonsai, cool, I can like
trade with it or
yeah, I hate the Sir Hiss stat line with the 1. Like I don't know, maybe something better. Maybe there's something better. I don't know. Maybe like a the problem is the 2 is such an attractive cost. But like it's tough in yellow. Obviously, we have nothing because you don't get to be evasive in yellow. So I don't know where the answer lies in what it is, but it feels like this deck is definitely in need of like bringing back something that can challenge. Even playing little units and maybe Kirky or something might be the better line. But that would come with freeing up. Those are the advantages of freeing up the queen line. So we'll do 1 of each since we have 2 follows. So the first follower was Earthly Tremors, sorry. I don't know. It feels like we're in an Earthly Turmoil. So we'll open it into the Inklands pack. And then our next follow, which was
day 1-ish.
Day 1-ish? We'll open the Shimmering Skies pack. So appreciate the follows. So we got Peter Pan, Neverland Hero, Cubby, the Mighty Lost Boy. We have the Firebird. We have Repair, Chief Tui, Orville, our uncommons, Hydros, Tinkerbell, which I'm quite a big fan of, Scrooge McDuck, our rares or better, hopefully, Heart of Atlantis, Sheriff of Nottingham, and our foil is going to be It Calls Me, which is a lovely little foil. And we got Square Corner instruction cards.
Alright, and then for our Shimmering Skies pack, we have Took, Ever As Before, Taffeta Mutton Fudge, Bonsai, Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom, and Happy. For the uncommons, we have Bashful, Ed, Fix-It Felix Jr., and then rares and above, we have a Scrooge McDuck, a Madam Mim Elephant, which is nice, and our foil is a Rudy.
Disrupting our groove indeed. Okay, so we have some takeaways. That was a match there for this, if you can call it that. That was certainly 2 games, again, if you can call them that, for the yellow-green deck. Oh, we got to put away these promos. Got pins and such from today's league. I got 4th in the league of, was there 7 today?
7, yep.
I got 4th, Sam got 1st. I guess we'll try Steel Song, though I don't like this list per se. But I think this is going to be one of the biggest struggles that you have.
Yeah.
Is going to be the Steel Song matchups because they can interact with your small characters. Swords, Grab Your Swords is a pretty big disaster card for you. So your Ursulas have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Lord knows you'll draw them.
Not the harps. The harps are in it.
The harps are coming. They'll be ink, trust me. We're strumming a harp. In this one, let's roll some dice about it. 9. It's pretty good. God damn it.
Gonna cheat at that, do?
Yes.
So am I mulliganing like I know what you have or no?
No. I won't mulligan like. The reason I was doing that with that deck is because I legitimately needed to know some things.
Alright. So, with my unknown opponent, I think I'd put back one of these just because of the uninkable. Both of these are just way too expensive. Even though there's an argument for this, just because I have this. But I think it's still going to go away. I will do 4.
Okay, so this is a tension, and I know Steel Song definitely is regarded as one of the more skill-intensive decks in the game. This is a very tough one. So some things I know for sure, things I want to keep are this, right? That gives me turn 1 and 3 covered. This gives me turn 2. So my curve looks really good. Where things get dicey is in here, right? Like, this is tricky. Like, we know we're playing, well, we don't know what we're playing against, right? But we can assume that we want some number of these. I think we want to keep these and just mulligan this one. That's what I'm going to go with. So we're just going to do 1.
Hello, I'm mysterious opponent.
Pretty much. And we drew this, which is interesting. Probably going to be ink truthfully, because I think we're in a better place in terms of what we can do. Though, on the draw, it's tempting to want to keep that, depending on what Sam's up to. But I think that's just incorrect, though, unless we ink our 2 and then play the other thing on 2, which is possible. Very hard to say. The one thing I'm hoping is that we draw a stream of inkable cards off the top of our deck. So that's the hope there.
Alright, I am first.
That is correct.
I am going to ink the goat and play Cursed Merfolk and pass.
Okay, that was uninkable, for the record. The thing I did not want to draw. So I think that we want to play this on 1. The card we drew obviously makes us want to do this on 2, but we'll still only be able to do that as soon as turn 3, so that's covered. We're going to ink Ursula Vanessa, and we're going to play Cinderella. Pass.
Okay. I think now I'd have a pretty good indication of what he's on just from that first play.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is ink the Chernobog Scholars. I'm going to quest with the Merfolk, and I'm going to pick it up with the snake. That way I have a 3-butt.
Okay. That was not an Ursula.
It is not. I don't have one.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. That was an inkable, so that's good. That's definitely what we want to be inking here. We will ink. We'll play a Robin Hood. And we'll pass back to you.
Okay.
So you can kind of tell, the tension is in the ink, right?
So he could shift and then sing Whole New World as early as next turn.
Drawing cards.
So I feel like I don't even know. It's rough. Because if he were to conversely sing Grab Your Swords, if I play out a couple of different characters, I could be really putting myself into a bad position.
Shift Robin Hood is kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, any shift 5 is a nightmare for you.
Not having an Ursula is definitely a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now you don't get the Ursula.
I I don't think I'm going to get to Clarabelle.
Not before
So
a wheel
we're
would
gonna-
happen, most likely.
We're going to ink her. And I think we're going to take the safe line and just play a crab.
Yep.
And pass.
We're going to ink Robin Hood. We're going to shift Robin Hood. So now is like the bit of tension, right? Like, what do we do here? Long came Zeus.
Okay.
And I'll pass to you. It's just the cleanest answer. Like Madam Mim she can like hit, but then she'd lose Madam Mim, so she can't do like it into Fox. She can roll like ink, play the Merfolk, Fox, hit with both.
And
I'm
mean,
down.
that's my thought.
That's like totally
And I
fine.
can do that.
That's a
And I
2-for-1
think
that
that's what
Robin
I-
Hood gets to put a card back
Yeah.
into my hand.
I think that's what I have to do just to take his singer off the board. So yeah. So we're gonna ink your welcome.
Yep.
We're gonna hit Robin Hood and he dies. Well,
Yep.
Snake dies. We're gonna play Curse Merfolk, play Fox, pick this up, and then
I draw a card.
yes.
She's down to 3 cards in hand, so a lot of used up unit there,
And pass.
trying to deal with Robin Hood, which is good. The downside is we do need to find something now to play in its stead. So we'll go ahead and ink a Strength of a Raging Fire. And I think we'll grab up a Lure. And question is, do I want to play this card or hold it for ink? I think it's more important as ink, given the context of my hand, so I'm just going to pass back to you.
Ugh. Not what I wanted to see. I'm gonna ink this Ursula.
Yep.
I would have liked to draw the other Ursula.
You weren't specific enough.
Are you right?
Yep.
Bonsai.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna get wrecked if you have grab your sword.
Good.
Yep.
So the reason we held that as ink is because we have Grab Your Sword.
Wonderful.
We're going to ink this. That was not the card I was holding. Grab Your Sword.
Yeah. I'm pretty much probably out of this game.
I'm not putting on much of a clock. Go ahead.
Alright, I think we'll just play it.
Yep.
And pass. If it was like a 2-butt, I might have just inked it. But I think with the 3, it's safe.
Cinderella. I'll play Rapunzel. I think I just need some pressure here. I'll pass.
Do Bonsai, and we will not quest because I don't want you to hit it and then re-heal it with another Rapunzel.
Correct. Yeah, that's a disaster if that happens. We'll shoot Bonsai with Let the Storm Rage On and draw a card. We'll play Vanessa and a Robin Hood, and I'll go ahead and grab 2 Lore and pass. Yep.
Pass.
Strength of a Raging Fire. So we get 5 here up to 9 and pass.
We will bounce. I don't even know. I guess Rapunzel. Yeah, Rapunzel. Go ahead.
Good.
Yep.
Just debating on, like, don't want to quest Cinderella, obviously, right? Because Kit just gets to smack it. Robin Hood will trade with it. I guess we can just do it. We're up pretty high. I'm just going to go ahead and slant towards being aggressive. Go ahead. Given the context of my hand, I think that's going to reward me the most, is just being
1, 2,
aggressive.
3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna sing.
Yep. Yeah, and that pays me off pretty good for being aggressive there, so we get to go up to 17 on the next turn.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow, it's doing it to your own unit, huh?
I think I need cards. I mean, I think I lose.
Yep.
And pass.
Likely the turn will end up being a repeat. I don't know what we... I mean, there's some things we could draw that are relatively spicy. Up to 15. We will play Rapunzel. And we will play Mr. Smee and pass.
Ugh.
Casually add 4 lore to the board.
Take out Cinderella.
Cinderella's out. Yep.
Take out Robin Hood. Bounce. Rapunzel again.
Sure.
Play Curse Merfolk and pass. I'm hanging in there.
Quest for 3. Rapunzel. Cinderella. Pass.
Probably done here. Ugh. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Drew an Ursula. I didn't see a small Ursula. Which I think this matchup I might need it even more than in yours. Your green-yellow.
Oh, I think so too. I think so too.
And this is the first time I've had to play this matchup.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a more common thing to see. The Steel Song decks. So I think it's just kind of hard mulligans into Ursula's if you know that it's Steel Song. You want to be able to disrupt as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sacrificing speed, most likely for consistency, like Ursula's and Madame Mims, just to kind of like shred their hand apart. Late game, obviously, like big Ursula is great.
Me? Yeah. So, I'm going to throw back this expensive guy. Throw back the Uninkables. This song that we're probably not going to use. I think we can throw this back because it's just a little expensive. And I think we need a hard mulligan for some quicker answers. So I'm going to put back 5.
Okay. Oh, you're drawing them right there. You're drawing them live.
And that was a horrible mulligan.
I have nothing further to say. So I have these 4 cards here that I'm looking to mulligan. The reason being I have these 3 cards here. I am trying to make sure I have a good curve of cards. I am debating on keeping this 1 just to make sure I have inkables. Just because last game that was fairly precarious. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put back 3. I don't want to overdraw songs in case, because she is playing Little Ursula's, even though she didn't see it last turn. I still want to respect that as a card. These are the 3 cards we drew. So it's like certainly not good, but I think that what we put back was correct. So I'm not feeling too terrible about any of that.
Artemis Siege got his foil Ketas before they spike.
Oh, good. What are they spiked to? Do you
I
need
think
more?
because of the, I think it's because of the deck winning the DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had 2 just because I didn't have 2 non-foil ones. And then you open that third one, and that I think he picked that one up, traded to Artemis Siege. All right. So we got
I will go first.
some stuff. Yep,
Ready?
sure.
We will ink your welcome and pass.
No 1-drop.
No 1-drop.
Okay, well, I was going to ink that, but now I'm inking this. My least favorite card in the match, Golden Harp, and play Robin Hood. Go ahead.
Oh wow, normal Ketas are already at 10. They were at 450 this morning.
Goodness.
We will ink this giant Clarabelle, and we will play Ursula.
Yep. I have a Robin Hood, a Mr. Smee, a Vanessa, an Ariel, a Cinderella, and a Whole New World.
I will take the only one I can. Robin Hood, Smee, Ursula, Ariel. All right.
Good?
Yep.
We'll go ahead and play Cinderella. I think here we're going to run out Mr. Smee. She could Fox the Ursula, which she's already incentivized to do. And that just gets rid of Robin Hood, and we really can't, like, punch it back, so I'll go ahead and pass. That's the tough part about playing Steel Song, is you're, like, partially control, partially aggro. It's a weird deck.
Chernobog's followers. We're going to quest,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going to play Fox.
Yep.
Pick up the Ursula. And pass.
Sure. We're going to ink the Bare Necessities.
Foils are $12.
Not bad. So, a couple of things we could do. I'll punch over to my hand real quick. So we kept this one, right? And this is normally like your best play on 3. I'm not going to do that, and the reason is I don't want to leave a potential song lingering in my hand since she just picked Ursula back up, and there's a high incentive to want to put her back down. So I'm going to just use this turn to set up, and we'll play Vanessa, and we'll play another little Robin Hood, and I will pass the turn back to you.
All right. I think we are going to ink a crab. We're going to quest for 1. We're going to pick up the fox with a snake. And then we're going to play the Ursula. Alright. Pass.
So she knows we have Rapunzel now, which will likely be our ink anyway, just because this deck does have a rather high uninkable count. But we're going to start with Ariel, right? We're going to draw our cards first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we know she has the fox, so she can, again, fox Ursula, so we don't want to leave songs hanging out in our hand. We want to pick songs that we can sing. So the question then becomes, I should probably punch over to the songs I'm looking at. I think this is a no-go, though it looks like it would be one of the best ones to keep. Obviously, we cannot keep these 2 cards because they are not songs. So I think this is the right song. I think it's just a question of how we want to deploy it. I will take Strength of a Raging Fire. I had to pass up on Grab Your Sword.
Okay.
I don't want to just leave that sit in my hand that I can't sing it right now. So the question is, how do we want to utilize it? So, like, we have to sing it with Ursula Vanessa, which means that we probably want to shoot the Ursula so that she can't pick it up with the fox and put it back down. So we will go ahead and Strength of a Raging Fire. As much as I would like the inkable there, we'll ink our Rapunzel. The question is, do we want to quest with anything knowing a fox is coming down? I think the only thing I'd be comfortable with questing with is Mr. Smee, because she would have to trade. So she can like put damage on the Vanessa and then pick it up with Fox and then finish off Vanessa or Mr. Smee. So I think there's no reason to kind of not grab 2 lore here. I'll pass.
Draw for turn. I think I'm gonna ink Friends.
Yep.
If he wheels, then I'm just losing the cards I'm drawing. I'm gonna quest with the snake.
Okay.
We're gonna pick it up.
Yep.
We're gonna take out the Ursula.
Replay the snake.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
I guess. I don't like the position I'm in.
It's not the easiest position to navigate. I think it's just going to be another quest for 2 with Mr. Smee. Want to build a hyena deck so bad. I definitely like Bonsai.
Yeah, Bonsai's good.
Definitely like Bonsai a lot. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out.
Did you quest with Smee again?
Yes, I went
Okay.
before. I think I'm just gonna play Cindy here. Same thing. Like I'm cool with her just throwing the snake into Mr. Smee or Fox, whichever.
Good.
Yep.
We're gonna ink the snake.
Yep. So we know she has Fox still in hand. The rest of the hand is a mystery.
Ugh. I'm gonna quest for 1.
Quest for 1. Do you need me to cut over to your hand? No.
No.
Fox again?
Fox and pick it up.
Sure. Same tension here. Like, if she wants to trade Fox into a double damage Smee, totally cool with it. Scary to leave her around in case I just leave them sit there and then happen to top deck Rapunzel or something, so I can...
I'm not big on this play, but I also don't want to leave like a bunch of cards in my hand when I have the ink to play them. So I'm just gonna do Rourke.
Sure.
And I guess I'll target Smee.
Okay.
If I had an exerted character, I would target Ariel.
Right.
But I wasn't able to have an exerted character without them dying. So. Also, Scar paired with Robin's bow and 2-cost Robin that pings makes hyenas playable, I think. We've talked about that.
I watched somebody play it at locals, and they did okay with it. I think you might need another tool or two, or like to really sit there and test the efficiencies to find out what's right and what's wrong. But there is certainly a possible deck here. So I cannot quest with Mr. Smee. It's not allowed by the rules. I don't know if there's much I'm interested in doing here. I'm just going to pass.
Okay.
I don't want to put Robin Hood at risk.
Alright. So we are going to ink a snake
Mm-hmm.
and play the card I've been hoping that I could play the whole time. Big Ursula.
Sure.
If anybody doesn't know, Big Ursula, whenever she quests, I can exert chosen character, and other characters cannot sing songs besides her.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
How many cards in hand?
2.
I'm going to play Pete.
Okay.
Not that I think that's going to do anything. ahead and quest. Maybe just with Robin Hood. Because now we're going to start having our things get exerted, so... She can't play any actions, so that doesn't harm her too much. But shuts off the ability to just, like, draw cards. Fun with spiders. A spider was coming down right here. Just enjoying the setup. We're down in the basement in the studio here.
We'll take out Robin Hood. That's one of my characters right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is rough.
Yeah, I don't know if questing with Ursula is correct on this board.
It's because I don't know what I would exert. Because I could exert Robin Hood and take out Robin Hood. But
That's
then,
a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. I could exert Ariel, but I feel like it's not really doing me any favors to take out Ariel if you have Robin Hood.
Well, Ariel's not doing much with Ursula out. She checks
Right, true.
Ariel's ability.
And so does Robin Hood, really. Like, so... I guess it's just... Quest here.
Yep.
No, I don't think I want a quest.
Okay.
I guess we'll just play the merfolk
Okay.
and pass. Sorry.
We'll play a Stone Rage on.
Whenever one of your other characters is banished, so you lose
Any
lore.
challenge?
It doesn't say that.
Oh, wow. We'll ink a Rapunzel, question mark? Maybe I don't. Maybe she's better held on to. Yeah, I guess I'll hold on to her. I still don't see. I think we're just kind of in this staring contest, so I'll pass.
Ugh. I still don't think I want to touch Ursula. I think she's just kind of doing me favors there. So, we are going to play a big Clarabelle.
Sure.
We will ink a little Clarabelle.
Yep.
End my turn, and I'll draw one for Clarabelle's ability.
Yep.
Pass.
We'll go ahead and Rapunzel. We'll draw two. We'll ink an Ursula, play a Robin Hood, and I'll pass. Too many characters.
Yeah.
Just kind of game states I don't like.
Start with Ursula.
Don't care about that.
No.
Not gonna use that even if I could.
Kit. I guess.
You don't have to. It's a May. I don't know if that.
No, I
matters.
want to because I want you to have more cards in hand. Robin Hood. Yep. it's safe to quest. This is a hard board state.
Mm-hmm. It is a very difficult board state to navigate.
I think I just pass and draw 2 cards. This board is messy. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is a mess. Ink Robin Hood play Vanessa. Go ahead. Ooh, a follow.
It would be ashamed if you weren't prepared.
Is that?
Gig Fritz?
Is there an I between?
It's so far away. It's hard to say.
I know, it's the computer's so far away from us. G-I-G-L Fritz.
Giggle Fritz.
Giggle Fritz, okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate the follow. We'll open a pack for you. Just let us know if you want Shimmering Skies or Into the Inklands. As soon as we finish with this mess, we will open it for you. If you
Okay.
can't stick around, let us know. We'll open it in the middle of this mess. I will pass.
Okay. Draw a card. Okay. That helps things. What do I want to do? We are going to quest with Ursula.
Yep.
We are going to exert. I guess Robin Hood. No, it's not Robin Hood. Sorry. It will be. Cinderella. I can take it out cleanly.
Shimmering, you got it. Appreciate you being here.
We will take out Smee, and you'll lose 1 more. And we'll take out Cinderella. You have 1 card.
One.
Quest for 2.
Mm-hmm. So no characters can sing. That's what happens.
That's okay with me.
Yeah, 2 Ursulas means no characters
Quest
sing.
for 1.
Because this Ursula is stopping this Ursula, and this Ursula is stopping that Ursula. I just wanted to read how it was worded to make sure that was the case. It's one of the weirdest Lorcana cards, in my opinion, from a design perspective, because it's one of the only ones that punishes you. Like, I wish it was opponents. Opponents' characters can't sing songs. That's what I want. Yep.
Doesn't really matter. I guess that one. No.
Oh, reckless? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Ink of bare necessities, because that's not going to do too much for us here. So what are you up to, Pete? Pete will take out, or put 3 damage onto Ursula. And along came Zeus, that Ursula.
Okay, so you'll lose 2 lore.
We'll take out Rourke.
And you'll lose 1, right? Because it won't be from this one.
Right.
Okay.
And then I'll gain 2 from Robin.
Okay.
Probably could have done that by taking out Rourke first and then Zeusing. I'd be up a lore, I think. Take that out. And quest, go ahead.
No cards in hand.
Nope. Yeah, I think the sit there games just don't benefit me because I don't have good top end. I mean, I have like Cinderella, but that's only a 2 of. So I just don't think that that's going to benefit me. But we get to be on the play for the next one, so that'll help. First, we'll open a pack for Giggle Fritz.
But if I do, so if I go up 5, that's 15.
I think you just quest here.
Yeah. No, should be 16.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we're gonna pay 4 for 2 bonsais.
Sure.
Pass. No, I should have drew 1 too.
No, I drew this for turn.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So if I put 3 damage on Clarabelle, that still wouldn't put her into swords range.
Is that what you drew?
No, it's not. But I draw a card off Robin Hood when he's banished. in a
Okay.
challenge. So it's like my best bet is to kind of suicide Robin into a unit. So 2/4 is right there the game. So I have to swords. Big Ursula is problematic. I don't think there's too many problems, but for the sake of the stream, we'll try to work through it. We'll put it on Big Ursula, I guess. So this goes down from a challenge. I draw 1 card. Play a little Cindy, and I can Strength of a Raging Fire on a bonsai. And then not do much else. Go up to 7. So you get game 2.
Alright.
So that seems pretty straightforward on what our role in the match is.
Yeah. The big guys are good for me.
I mean, that was a long...
I mean, the Ursula. Yeah, we
that
just
felt
sat
like an
there.
anomalous, yeah. Like, that was neither of us knowing how this match really worked, I think. I don't think in a tournament setting that would happen. It'd be unusual, put it that way. But we'll open Shimmering Skies for Giggle Fritz, don't forget. I'll open this pack, and then you'll open the next one.
Okay.
Shimmering Skies for Giggle Fritz for the follow. Appreciate it.
Oh, God.
And while we're here, I'll plug. Illumination Podcast is out every other Wednesday, available wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out. And Supraliminal Entertainment here every Sunday night on twitch.tv, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. A new video over on YouTube, youtube.com/SupraliminalFilms. If you can spell it, you can find it every Thursday. We also put stuff there as the Illumination Podcast, so check that out. More to come, obviously, with the setup being done. We got a Merlin back from Bermuda. Fix-It Felix Jr. Pete. Merriweather. Earth Giant. When Will My Life Begin? We have Amethyst Chromicon. We have Taffietta Mutton Fudge. All funned out. For our rares, we have We Know the Way. Sheriff of Nottingham, and our uncommon is gorgeous art on this one.
Is that the one you've been looking to get?
Little John. No, I need the Robin Hood that goes with
Okay.
this Little John. This is the 3rd of this Little John.
Oh, wonderful.
But We Know the Way. Combo. Appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. And it was a Stitch Gateway card, if you're concerned with the Gateway cards. Appreciate you. All right, so I will go first in this one here. Okay. This is the worst hand we've looked at yet. So I think with the construction of this hand, we probably want to keep maybe like something like these 3 cards and put back these 4 cards. I could see something like this and put these back. I understand the upside here of this, but like we have to remember and respect that our opponents are playing Ursula, so we may not have that luxury. So that leads me to believe I just probably want these two, because one can be inked, and I'll put back 5 of these cards, and we'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a much different and still kind of terrible collection of cards.
Okay. My opening hand is okay. I don't know if it's very good against the Steel Song deck, though. I think we're going to put this back because it just doesn't do much in the match. Plus it's uninkable. We'll put this back. And I'm going to put this back. So we'll put back 3. 3. Okay, that's a lot of that card. We're good.
I do know D-Way.
After this match, I'm going to take a quick fire break.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start by inking Pete, games referee, and that's all I'm doing.
Okay. We will start by inking a Clarabelle and playing a Clarabelle.
Good.
Yes.
We're going to ink a Strength of a Raging Fire, and we'll play Ursula Vanessa and pass to you.
Okay. That was a great top deck. We'll ink Clarabelle. And Ursula.
Yep. So the reason we inked the Strength of a Raging Fire is so we couldn't have our inkable song taken.
We'll take what we can take. Yeah, Rafiki's good. Most forms of Rafiki are pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me see, what do you have? I don't think I get punished for quest. Yeah, I don't get punished for questing, so we'll quest for 1.
Good.
Pass.
Gonna ink Ursula Vanessa. We'll play Robin Hood and Mr. Smee. And she's, again, the incentive's high. I don't want a Fox. That Ursula, so I'm not super interested in any shenanigans with this Vanessa, so I'm just gonna pass.
List for you if you care to try. You can always send the list. I'm always into, like, Lion King themed decks for sure.
It's because somebody moved upstairs, so the dog has to bark.
I'll ink You're Welcome.
You're welcome.
And we will kick Cloud Kicker the Robin Hood.
Don't hate it.
This time we will not quest. And pass. Yeah, the dog. Being annoying. Don't hate it because you can use it for ink.
Right. Do I want to do anything with Mr. Smee here? I would have a damage on it, so it would just trade across with Kit. I don't care so much about that, so I'll go ahead and go up 2. Piss. Don't hate it.
You mean the best? I think we will... That's a good card, though. We'll link Clarabelle.
Sure.
Take out Smee. Guess we'll quest.
Yep.
2 cards. Don't want to replay it. I guess so. Okay, I think you had both of those when I saw it.
Good.
Shifts for 5.
Yeah, we're on the hunt for an inkable here.
Okay. Yep.
Pass.
So I need to hit her for what, 7?
You gotta deal a lot of. You got resist 2 on this one. Questing there. I know she can use her ready ability if I can get a song, but I do kind of need to present some pressure, and she's going to get rid of units whether she's being traded into or trading into. So I can't be super controlling. We saw where that got me in the last game, and Ink's starting to get higher, so I want to be able to do what I need to do. Here, like right now, the board's not super conducive to her being able to punish me too hard. Like, she can hit me with Snake, lose the Snake for 1 damage, play a Fox, run the Fox into it for 2 damage. Like, there's just not a lot. She could shift to Ursula and put some damage in, but that doesn't do it either. Like, it's just a lot to ask. Yep. So this puts 4 on it. Yep.
Go ahead. If you draw top deck of Rapunzel, I'm in big trouble.
It's a tricky choice. So I can take out the crab, which is the most obvious, right? That will trigger Rapunzel. My thought is I take out the crab. It's just one choice. The challenger's irrelevant, so
Trigger
it's
Rapunzel.
huh?
You said that'll trigger Rapunzel?
Cinderella.
Okay.
So I can attack a readied unit. It's just the question of, do I want to trade Bonsai for Cinderella? I think the answer is probably that's fine. So I think we probably just clear the crab here because that's just a mess going forward. So we'll take out the crab. It doesn't matter who gets challenger because they're not challenging. So her ability's up. So we'll take out Ursula. So that way we don't shift anything. And then we'll quest for 1 here and pass. Then it's like, do you want to trade in
Shift
Bonsai?
anything you say.
Oh, that's fine too. Don't so much care about that on an empty hand.
I do think I trade in Bonsai. The debate is just if I ink this or not. I think the answer is probably no, so she can't really. Can you punish me? I guess if you were to draw like strength or something, go ahead. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to take anything out. Go.
Grab your sword. Okay.
Now I have to do stuff. It's me. You have no cards? Naveen.
Good.
Yeah.
take the golden harp. Go ahead.
That's really bad there.
That was Daisy Duck.
Alright, we will quest for 1.
Yep.
We will play a snake. Bounce. Ink a snake. I mean, a goat. Play a rabbit. Go.
Good.
You're not doing good anymore. Clarabelle. Pass.
Go.
Request with Clarabelle for 2. Play Rorik. Rapunzel. Pass.
Good enough for me. So I think there the problem was just like the hand was super awkward and we board stalled. I don't think there was much else we could have done there. I think we leveraged Cinderella correctly. I think just I'm incredibly unlucky and Sam is incredibly lucky. And that's pretty much how that went. Like, if you had just drawn irrelevant stuff, it would have been a different game, but instead you drew nothing but card draw. I drew nothing, so that was the difference maker there. I don't think that that came down to, like, spectacular play or anything that did it. I think it was just this deck just did underwhelming work, and I think the Golden Harp continuing to show off that that card is not very good, unfortunately.
We already opened a pack, right? Like for the last
Yep.
follow? Okay.
So I'd say that on the whole, I think that this deck beats that deck.
think that's fair.
Configured more accurately to the meta than this deck is, which I'll update because Golden Harp's just unplayable garbage. Don't play Golden Harp. I think once this deck gets configured, I think this deck's favored just because of all the steel removal. This is aggro, so what do we have left?
If I can share the... I'm going to... so that didn't come through. So I'm going to share the Discord in the chat so that you can put it in there for us.
Yes, and anybody who's interested, you can definitely jump on the Discord. Now's a good time while Sam's doing that to plug the Illumination podcast, available every other Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, new episode. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can see it up there on the screen. You can get it anywhere pretty much there is a podcast. So if you just you want to sign up for the RSS feed directly, you can. If you want to do Apple Podcasts, if you want to do anything like that, definitely do that. How does that Amber Emerald deck deal with locations? I want to play, but my friend uses Jim Hawkins, and that's very annoying. I haven't played a ton against location. We haven't played, I don't think, anything that was a location-based strategy.
No. But the crab would be like having 4 of the crab.
Right. So crab into bonsai, things like that. You just have these really well-statted characters, right? Madam Mim Fox. Like, these characters all hit so hard that it doesn't feel like locations would be too big of a punish, so long as you don't leave yourself too vulnerable. And that's the tricky part of this like deck being a tempo-style deck, is you can't over exhaust your characters, or else you're going to be able to get picked apart a little bit. So I definitely think it is worth being leery. So we have 2 follows, Obi-124 and Sailor Mankey. We can open some packs for you. You said you wanted to take a quick break?
Yeah. You want to open the packs?
Yeah, I'll open 2 packs. We'll do 2 Inkland. We'll do an Inkland and a Shimmering Skies. How about that? for the 2 follows. We appreciate everybody hanging out. We're going to be doing more of this good news. We have this set up in kind of a more permanent or stable environment where we can do these things. So this good news is this setup can just kind of chill, which is nice, so I can leave everything set up the way it is and not touch it and come in and plug and play. And we'll keep working on it. We have some ideas to increase the output, make it look a little bit nicer. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. We will certainly take a look at it. Yeah, it is a scary situation. Setup looks good to me. But yeah, exactly, right? It can only get better. The good news is I won't make it worse. So the good news is there. So Shimmering Skies pack for the follow. Appreciate it. So we have Maleficent as the gateway card. We have the Queen. We have Mickey Mouse. We have Archimedes, Fauna, Vanellope von Schweetz, Sneezy, our uncommon Steel Chromicon, Robin Hood, and Try Everything. Start off good with Prince Philip here. What's underneath? Oh, legendary underneath. It is Camilla Madrigal, and then underneath that foil super rare foil Prince John Gold Lover. Good pack. Lots of good stuff in this pack. Appreciate the follow. Very cool. We'll do an Into the Inklands pack next. But yeah, I think it is tough. Your characters in the Amethyst Emerald deck definitely are statted well and can deal with some locations, I think, so long as you don't overexert yourself. So just be careful. The red decks or the ruby decks tend to give that deck a bit of trouble just because they can do the same thing with the overstated characters but also have more removal. So it is a tougher matchup for you for sure. This pack is nutsy into Airfoil, into the Firebird, into Captain Amelia, into Chief Tui, and a quick patch for our commons. Uncommons are Starkey, the Sorcerer's Tower, and 99 Puppies. Our rares are, first up is the Maui Whale. Then we have Pluto and a foil rare here. Foil Maui Whale. So we have normal Maui Whale and foil Maui Whale. Whale of a tail. Very cool. I haven't seen a foil Maui Whale. Actually looks pretty good. We got Maui the Whale and foil Maui the Whale in the same pack. Very interesting.
Pluto.
And a Pluto. All animals in this pack. So, here you go.
Thank you. I'll bring up that deck list real quick.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it a little bit more after the stream as well. What do you think about going Prince John discard instead of Amber Amethyst Tempo? Maybe discard hits the Jim Hawkins or the location. I think if you want to discard, you're best pairing it with Amber. But Amber Emerald Tempo, I play like the Sing Together version of it, and I have not had any real problems with Red Purple at all.
Looks like a fun deck.
So I would say yes, that is certainly an effective strategy to deal with locations, but be aware that your individual units in that deck, if you're going to play the Sing Together version, are terrible against locations. So you have to leverage cards like Cricky, if they get one down, to try to increase your odds of dealing with a location on the board versus in their hand. But yes, they have trouble deploying things, so you want to try to break up the... like, you want a Singer to break up the Jim Hawkins into Sisu into Castle lines, but you definitely can do so with the Amber Emerald style discard deck. There's no doubt.
What are you playing?
I am now playing a different deck.
Oh, you're not going to tell me.
Nope. Making it harder and harder.
Yeah, and I can't remember what those purple sleeves were.
High roll?
I think it's red blue. Yeah.
Not a high roll. Yep. Have not won a die roll on the stream. Just want everybody to be aware.
You did win the first
one. Did
one.
I win the first one? Oh, with the aggro deck? Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. All right. So this hand is pretty bad. I think this might be the only keepable card in it, and even that I question being that good. But I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to put back 6 cards because a lot of these don't do much of nothing.
6 cards.
we got better, but not incredibly good. Stop cheating.
I wasn't. I really wasn't. That camera angle is sick. Thank you.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, so that's what I'm keeping. And if you ever need to look in our hand or something, feel free to just call it out
All right, so we are
during the
going
games.
So I got quite a few uninkables, so I'd like to keep 2 of them, but I think I'm going to put back 2 of them and keep 1 of them. Maybe? No. So I think we're definitely putting this back, and I think we're going to put both of these back. And I guess I'm going to be a little greedy and keep 2 of these. So, put back 3. 1, 2, 3. Mildly punished, but it's not too bad.
Alright. It's a pretty bad hand. Ready?
I have to shuffle, but you can start.
Oh, it won't be much of a start. I'm going to ink Tamatoa and pass.
I was right.
Were you?
If it's steel, I will be shocked. Because you hate that deck.
I do hate blue steel.
Alright.
Sorry, R&B.
I'm going to draw. I guess we'll keep what I just drew to see what he's playing first. We're going to ink Crab, and we will play a Curse Merfolk and pass.
Draw was okay. Fishbone Quill will be inked by me, and I'll play Chicha, and I'll pass.
Yeah, it's blue-red.
The jig is not up yet.
We'll ink this Ursula,
Sure.
and we will play a Bonsai.
Bonsai.
I'll let you take that out if you want it. Pass.
How generous. Oof. Think we're gonna have to ink a Flaversham.
I still have only seen blue cards.
Fishbone Quill. We're gonna use the Fishbone Quill, which will trigger Chicha. We will play Ice Block. And I'll pass. I don't love letting her quest for an additional 2, but I also think that given the context of our hand, we can probably line things up a little bit smoother for the following turn.
I'm going to ink another Crab. I am going to play Kit, bounce Chicha,
Sure.
and we will quest for 4.
Good.
Yes.
I think we're going to replay Chicha. We will Fishbone Quill. Don't think we can do that here, so we have to ink something else, which isn't great. We'll ink Brawl. Draw me a card. Okay. And we'll Sisu on the Curse Merfolk. And we'll develop our brain. We'll take 1 and put 1 back and pass away. Not like pass away, but pass away the turn. I'm not going to die yet. So she's already at 6.
I'm going to ink a goat.
Mm-hmm.
gonna play Clarabelle.
Okay.
For 3, so I can banish an item. So Ice Block is interesting because he can't shrink one of my characters, which I guess shrinking Bonsai doesn't do anything. So I guess it's gonna be Fishbone. Shrinking either of them doesn't do anything. So we will quest for 3. And did I ink? Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I'm ramping,
Pass.
so I cannot tell you anymore.
I've been leaving it face up all night.
We'll shrink Sisu or Bonsai.
Yeah.
You forgot about Bruno.
I did. Well, about Sisu?
Bruno.
Bruno.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel great.
We'll ink Grammatal and pass.
We will ink Fox.
Yep.
We'll play a Lyle.
Yep.
Bonsai.
Sure.
Pass. Oh my goodness. Ow.
We're gonna shrink Bonsai.
Okay.
It's just for posterity. I could draw Brawl. And Grandma. We'll 1 jump. That'll trigger Chicha. So we'll draw a card. I'll pass.
2 cards.
2 cards.
I figured you didn't have anything.
Yep. Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Tamatella. Yeah. Get back Ice Block. Play Ice Block. I think we have to quest with Flaversham here. Just because we do need to draw. We'll shrink Rourke. We'll ink a Cusco. We'll use Chicha to jump ahead. That'll trigger Chicha.
I think I've pretty much lost this game.
And we'll develop our brain. When it's the same card, which one do you take? So the question is, I think at this point, do we want to take some heat off of Flaversham and offer Sisu up as a potential hit? I think the answer is probably yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and quest. And I will pass. Because either way, I'm going to get, if she doesn't go after Sisu, I'm going to get lure, so. And Rourke is slowly taxing my lure, so. Yep.
I'm going to Clarabelle.
Sure.
I think I just...
Yep. I lose 1, right?
Yes. I think I'm going to pick up
Yep.
Tiberius. I'm going to do this on Tamatoa.
Sure.
There's an argument for it could have been Flaversham, but you might not have an item. on him. My debate is if I quest with Ursula or not.
Not take out Chicha.
Oh, I can take out Chicha. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's what I figured you would do.
I forgot she only had the one
Yep, just a 2/1.
willpower.
Good.
Yes.
Draw a card. Popsicle. Yeah, we're basically at the point where there's no wrong way to eat this Reese's, I think, with this red-blue deck, which is where it wants to be, right?
Does it count for himself?
I assume so.
One of your other characters.
Oh, okay, cool. That's even better for me. Gotta take out Ursula.
Yep.
And I'll pass.
Like this.
Yep. Yep.
If you have dime, I think this is over.
If I had dime, I would tell you. Because we're just kind of going through the motions now, I think. You have one card left in your hand?
Yeah, and you know what it is. Or no, maybe you don't.
It's Snake, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, I think so. Quest with Tamatoa. Play Popsicle. Play Popsicle. Draw a card. Quest with Labrisham. Go up to 10. Sacrifice Popsicle. Draw 2 cards. So what this deck does, everybody.
It's annoying.
Popsicle. Draw a card.
I see dime.
It is in my hand.
We can just. You want to just move on?
It's up to you.
I'm not gonna get there on Snake.
I can play the dime.
We can be done.
Okay.
I don't want to play any longer.
I can keep going. Yeah, my hand was nuts.
Didn't I beat this deck the first time we played it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I guess I need to be quicker.
I mean, it is weird. I mean, no deck's going to be 100%, right? It's worth keeping, bearing that in mind.
Well, I guess you thanks.
It's, you know what I mean? Like, no deck's going to win 100%. It's just how it goes. Like, you got to keep practicing. Like, I can tell, like, the worst matchup, I think, for me that I've played, like, the one that feels unwinnable is the green-yellow deck right now in its current configuration. Like, it just feels like there's not enough tools to fight the board states that deck can create, which is unfortunate, but true. But the good news is that means I get to test and fiddle, and I think I can probably move a little bit away from the queen at this point. I don't know about everybody else out there, and feel free to chime in, but I just haven't seen a ton of hyper aggro, and I'm totally fine in a world of not seeing a lot. Like, I don't mind. Like, I think the yellow-green deck, this is the Sing Together deck, I think it has a serviceable game plan against hyper aggro, enough so that I don't think the queen is necessarily warranted. Like, I think I can get by without her, so I might try to move on from that. I think the hyper aggro decks we haven't seen a lot of them. I think we will. Obviously, at the Challenger event in Las Vegas, we're going to see quite a few. So we'll see how that goes. Sam is just not sharing her hand
I'm
at
not
all
sharing
with anybody.
Here's my hand. I decided I'm going to put this back. I think last time I was a little greedy with the uninkables, so I'm going to put this back. I'm not in the right spot. Don't really think I need this. This is better late game. I guess I'll put this back as well. So we're going to put back 4. Drew another one of those. Another one of those. And that's pretty good.
Good?
Yep, all good.
Okay.
What does the queen do? It's the shift one.
It is a 4/3 for 5. It shifts for 2. and it quests for 2, and it has the ability of whenever she quests, she a chosen character an opponent controls gets -4 strength, and a chosen character of your choice, either you or your opponents, gets +4 strength. So she's also a 2-drop, essentially a quote-unquote 2-drop that can hit Daisy Duck as a 4/3 versus a 1/4. So I can play Little Queen, then shift and hit Daisy Duck. Or if I have another unit out a little later in the game, I can shrink Daisy Duck, pump that unit up, and hit it. Other yellow decks in the past have used the Queen's ability to pump their opposing character's toughness and then use Greatest Criminal Mind to get rid of it. So there's a lot of options there. What did I miss? Go for it.
Yeah. Peeking at my list, what are your thoughts? I'm trying to get it right.
I'll have to give it some. I'll reply in the Discord after I have a chance to look at it a little bit longer, but I don't want to shoot anything off the cuff and send you down the wrong road. But I will definitely take a look. So, hand is this. These are the cards I'm keeping. The reason is this deck's very predicated on a curve, right? Like I want a 1, 2, 3 pretty badly. This card's an important one for obvious reasons in this matchup. I think these 4, this is redundant, and these are just too expensive. This one's too expensive, and these 2 are a little clunky. So I'm going to put back 4. But overall, I'm pretty happy. I'd like to see some good cards on this one. It's good enough. Like, I'm not going to complain about it. We got the matchy here. I think it's going to be a little awkward. But I think we're going to get there. We'll see how I want to play it out.
Ready?
Yeah, if you gotta switch the angle for me. Whenever you're ready.
Alright, I'm going to ink You're Welcome.
You're welcome.
And play Curse Merfolk.
That's kind of the scary card for us. Like, that's the one we don't want to see on one because it just can accumulate a lot of lore very fast. We'll ink a big crab, and we'll play a Popsicle, and we'll draw 1 card and pass.
We will quest for 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Sea Witch is just so far away. We will play Ursula though. Try to get the 1 jump if he has it.
So Chicha, Big Sisu and Maui. Where's that? You got a Vision of the Future and 2 1 jump.
Oh, you still get 1.
Yes, that was very nice.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
We'll ink Maui. Chicha's really nice to get down, but I think we can't really fool around. We have to 1 jump ahead here. Like if she plays another Ursula and gets us, that's a disaster. Like to try to sing with Chicha. Like it's cool. Like don't get me wrong, I'd love to, but I just can't really go down that road too easily.
All these bigs. Ink Clarabelle.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's good in certain matchups for sure.
Quest for 3, and I guess we're just gonna fox the Ursula and pass.
I think. We'll use Vision of the Future. So we look at 5, pick 1. Okay, so this is our 5 here. We get to pick 1 of these and put it into our hand. So right now our ink situation is a little bit, I wouldn't call it precarious. Like we're pretty solid on inks. We just need to figure out what we're doing here. I think we have to play this. My hope was that maybe we found a 1 jump ahead. That'd probably be our most ideal, but I think this is pretty serviceable as a comparison. I think this is quite nice in this matchup. I think it can do a lot of heavy lifting as well, so I don't mind having one of those. This is a little too expensive. This card's irrelevant, and I think this is a little too expensive right now at this point in the game, as much as I don't love putting one on the bottom of my deck. So I think the real choice is between these 2 with an honorable mention to that, but I think it's just too expensive. So it's really then comes down to the question of what does our next turn look like. So we still get to ink this turn, and then we get to play Chicha. So that's fine. And the following turn we're going up to 5. So I think this benefits us the most. So I'm going to take this one and put this one back. I think that's probably the best method there. And I'll organize them like so. So we have to ink still. So we will ink Maui. And we will go ahead and make the Chicha and pass.
I'm gonna ink a Chernobog's followers.
Yep.
And then I think I'm gonna play a Kit to bounce Chicha.
Don't think that impacts what we want to do terribly.
Chernobog. And I guess pass.
Fishbone. Use Fishbone. I think we ink. We can ink Sisu. Play Sisu and pass.
Quest. Pop it. Quest. 4. So I think I'm going to play Clarabelle with the banish to the Fishbone Quill. And I know Clarabelle's just going to get completely demolished next turn. And then we are going to ink a goat and not play anything else. Pass. Yep.
Yeah, no surprises there. I think we'll ink Grandma, play Popsicle.
I'm going to take out this fox.
No, I'm good, I think. I mean, it's tempting in a way, because then it just kind of eliminates the board. And with a blank board, I think that tends to favor me. But I'll hold. Go ahead. I think I draw Lucky Dime and things of that nature, so. Fox just quests for so little, but
just have
leaving
one
a
in
unit on
hand?
the board, yeah.
We'll draw. I'm going to play Rabbit.
Yep.
We'll ink Clarabelle. I don't think it's worth taking out a Popsicle. But Lucky Dime might be. Whatever. I did it. Quest for 1.
Yep.
Okay. I just gave you a target.
You did.
Go ahead.
It's kind of like a ticking clock on the Madam Mim of when do I want to pull the trigger of just hitting it with Sisu. It's tough. I'll pass. It's a tough one.
Yeah. I think just what I'm at. I need to do that.
Yep.
We'll pass. lethal, so now you have to act.
We'll hit rabbit.
Awkward.
We'll hit Popsicle the Sisu. Quest for 1. Past you.
I probably should have just quested with the fox. Rabbit. Just one.
One card. It's gotta be a good one. Feeling less confident. Yes, we hit Bonsai. You quest for 2. Nothing I can do.
Yeah. And that's, I didn't think I was going to get a Be Prepared. The only reason I played it was just so I had the 2.
Yes, I know.
The luck, I know.
I know. Every time you throw out an Ursula, seemingly at random, it's always great. I just threw it down for no good reason.
It was a good reason. It was because I quested for the win.
I just threw it down for seemingly no purpose. Alright. I get to go first here. I think the issue, again, this deck, your deck is just so good at picking up on board stalls. Like, it's just, like, being, and the Merfolk, again, we talked about the Merfolk being the difficult thing. It was just like, would I leave that around for, like, 5 turns of questing or something? Like, it was probably half your lore total in Merfolks. Oh, you must have jumped off when I had mentioned it. I want to look at it after the stream is done, which is
closer.
in a little bit. Probably after this match, we'll close up the stream for the night, and I will reply in Discord with any thoughts that I have, just because I don't want to just spew out a bunch of random thoughts, having looked at it for like 2 minutes and been like, oh, do this, this, and this, and then it's like, wow, those 2 made my deck way worse. So I'd rather think about it for more than a couple of minutes to hit you with the deck doctoring, as it were. But I definitely, I'll take some time to look it over.
Yeah. It's up my alley with the hyenas, because I love the Lion King themes. 7.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you hanging out and dropping in some lists for us to look over.
Who's going first, you or me?
Me.
Okay. I meant, like, with that.
All right, so this card's pretty good. I think this card is, like, fine on the play. I think these aren't the best, but I think given that we kept that other card, I think we can keep this card. It's question mark on if we want this one. I think the answer is probably yes. These 3 obviously are pretty horrible, so I think we're going to do that. It's a little off tempo. Like, normally I know you want to, like search very hard for one jump ahead. But I think, given the texture of our hand, I think we'll be okay. I think we can get into a situation where we'll be all right. I think we just need to draw our way through. And, yeah, 3 very good cards for 3 pretty bad cards in the early game. So, pretty happy with that.
All right. Here's my opening hand. Put back the bigs. I think I want to keep one of her just because she's pretty good in this match.
That's my nose.
I was wondering what it was.
Like a weird whistly sound.
She's like alright in this matchup. I need to make sure I'm in the right spot. But I think she's better later, so we're going to put her back. Put one of these back. I don't think I need 2. And I think just because of inkables, we're going to keep 4. So we'll put back 3. not too bad. Alright.
Ready?
I'm ready when you are.
I think it's going to be a contentious first ink with Popsicle.
Ooh.
Play Popsicle. Pass. Next turn's ink's much easier now.
Alright, and we will ink Ursula and play the Merfolk. I don't think it's as good going second.
No, it's definitely not. We'll ink a Tamatoa. And we will one jump ahead and pass. Same thing, gotta respect the Ursula. Like, one jump would be nice on the next turn, but it's just as good here, and we don't need it snatched out of our hands.
We will ink a snake. We're gonna quest for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're gonna play 2 1-drops and pass.
Holy cow. Ink a Tamatoa. We'll go ahead and brawl the Merfolk. Just don't think we have a lot of time to sit there and fool around. Go ahead.
We'll quest him. It's a Maui turn, so I don't think I want to just let it sit there.
Maui. Maui, Maui.
I don't have a lot of options on what to do. So I guess we're gonna ink a goat. We will quest with Clarabelle.
Yep.
And we will pick it up.
Good.
Yep, pass.
I think that's good news for me. Just kind of this like anemic turn. There's not a lot of pressure. You did summon him. Play Chicha.
Mm-hmm.
Play Fishbone Quill.
Yep.
Use Fishbone Quill. Triggers Chicha.
Yep. Down
And
to 2 cards.
Pass, yes. 2 cards.
Okay. I think we will ink the snake.
Mm-hmm.
We will use that Clarabelle I picked up to blow up the Fishbone Quill. And then we will play a Chernabog's Followers. We'll quest for 1 and pass.
Start with Grammatala.
Mm-hmm.
Ink Tamatoa. Play Ice Block. And that'll be that.
Alright, we will quest for 1. Pop it.
You can definitely see with the lore total how
Clarabelle.
like slowing down the Merfolk has been so like just the deck's velocity on the whole has been very slow. Like it's been taken down a peg for sure. Yep.
I think we'll quest with both.
Good.
Pass. You can actually somewhat see the hands too on there.
I will Flabbersham the Popsicle.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. Fishbone Quill. I don't necessarily want to use it here because I haven't inked at all. So I won't get a Chicha trigger. And I don't want to necessarily give up a lot of stuff. So we'll just go ahead and trade Grandma for... no point in using the ice block there because they would trade anyway. I'll pass.
2 cards?
2.
Alright. Here. So I think Flabbersham's definitely gets him back in it. So I think I'm going to play Elsa to exert him, and then I'm going to take him out.
Good.
I just want to ink Well, Inca Goat.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
Draw. Interesting. I think we'll start with Grammatala. I'm going to take, there was one inkable, one non-inkable. I took the inkable. And we'll shrink Elsa with this ice block.
Okay. And
Play
Sisu.
Sisu.
I thought you might find that.
Just debating on my ink situation. You have 2 cards. I'm just going to pass here, I think.
Okay.
I think we have the blessing of a little bit of time here. She's in single digits still. I don't think she can really quest with Clarabelle at this point in the game, because trading for Chicha and Grammatala seems terrible. I mean, like, it's a 2-for-1 for sure, but, like, then I just have the ability to, like, a long game favors me, unlike the previous games we saw where a long game can favor Sam's deck. Like, my deck can just, like, invalidate everything she's doing on board with 1 card, so it's a really tough one for her. Like, she can't flood the board because she has to respect B-Preps and Sisus, but she also can't just sit there for a million years and let me draw all those cards. So it's a really tough situation that she's in here. Yep. Sure.
Is it that word? Yeah, I think it has to be, unfortunately.
I don't think that matters, but it's your call.
I mean, if you had the big Sisu,
Yeah, but I just
then you
ink
could,
and play
yeah.
it. I Fishbook Will out. Like,
It's true,
It's
yeah.
kind of irrelevant.
So maybe it should have been something else.
I
so that
think
you
it- I
couldn't
think it's
take out Clarabelle.
I think that you want to take the heat off of Clarabelle.
Okay, so we'll do Chicha. It has to be, right? Because I can't take out.
You cannot take out
Grandma.
Grandma
So
unless you want to use Clarabelle, and then you're in the same boat again.
and then so you cannot take it out with just those 2.
Correct.
So we'll quest for 2.
Yep. Good.
Mhm. Did you guys get any enchanted cards from your pools this set? We did.
What did we get? 2 Donald Duck pie thingies. We traded one of the Donald
And
Ducks.
we got Arthur.
Oh, and Arthur.
So we got
yeah.
Arthur and Donald Duck.
We got Arthur and Donald Duck Pie Guy. We traded Pie Guy, one of them. We traded Arthur.
We traded Arthur for another
Pie
pie
guy.
guy and a Scar.
And then we ended up, a friend wanted to collect the Donald Duck, so we gave the friend the Donald Duck, and
And I bought a Mufasa.
you purchased a Mufasa. So now we have a Mufasa. Donald Duck Pie Slinger, I think is the proper name.
Scar.
Scar, and that's it?
That's it.
Mufasa.
Mufasa, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is our current pool. How about you? All right, so I'm going to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, popsicle. Ink a fishbone quill.
Thanks.
Well, Medusa.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only legal
Target,
target.
yep.
On the board. Go ahead.
Yep.
I should have used my fishbone quill there. Apologies, Hyper Hippo, if you're watching.
Prince Naveen and one Mufasa. Just
Yeah, Prince Naveen's a good one to have a bunch of. We oddly got no red Robin Hoods at all. We opened 7 boxes, 1 full case, and then 2 boxes, and a friend traded us a box for the non-champion playmat. And we ended up not getting a whole lot of, like, the legendaries were just weird in that, like, we filled out a bunch of them, but then didn't, like, we had multiple, like, we have 6 Clarabelles, but we didn't have any Naveens or any Red Robin Hood.
Yeah, we still have no Red Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause, yeah.
Right.
I'm just debating if I want to just give you the Clarabelle, but I think probably not. You have 1 card.
Yep.
Ugh. If it's B prepped, this is really bad. So do I want to draw a card? I'm just gonna pass.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation.
It's like I could have inked and played something and then drawn a card.
Popsicle. Develop your brain. I think we'll take this one. We'll shrink Bonsai. We will brawl Bonsai. And we'll play Sisu. We'll go ahead and quest for 3. Go ahead.
We are going to sing You're Welcome on my own rabbit.
Okay, so you're going to draw 2. Shuffle them in, draw 2, and then, if you wish, draw a 3rd. Because the rabbit is a May. I'm just saying there may be a point. It's just worth pointing out for the broadcast audience here. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it was really a strange set of boxes, for sure.
I will choose to draw the 3rd one.
Okay. I appreciate you said that before you even got the second card. I'm going to choose to draw one. It's a May.
I don't like this. 6.
I have not seen one whisper of a big Sisu yet. Or B-Prep.
Whisper 2.
Yep. I think you kind of have to. At a point, you just got to kind of put characters down. Like, you don't have to go ham, but you can put down 1 or 2 characters. Ice block.
Yeah. Don't like the ice block.
Doesn't do much now. Yep.
You're welcome.
Yep. Yep.
Just debating if I want to. I mean, it's just a trade. 13, 16, 17, 18. Next turn. Threatens goat.
The correct answer, I think, is you trade Madame Medusa because
That's what I was thinking, because it's harder for you to get Clarabelle, right?
I have to use Tala and Sisu
So, yeah. Okay.
versus these 2. I think that's correct. All right. We'll develop. Goodness. Big develop.
Oh, he'll find something here. Do you want your hand cam?
Sure. All right, so this was like pretty bad.
Good.
It wasn't god awful. Like we have a couple of
You're not in
options.
the-
Oh, okay. We have a couple of options. I think this is by far the best choice. I think the rest of these 2 are not it. I think these 2 are pretty good. Like I can't play the one now though is the thing, and I can play this turn, so it's just like pure upside, I think. So I'm gonna take this one. I don't love it. Like I don't love putting some of this on the bottom, but I'm okay putting it on the bottom. None of it's a big Sisu, so I'm not sad about it. So that's not the worst.
Okay.
Good thing you got rid of that ice block.
Yeah, then I would have survived.
Go ahead. Fine with that. Eats up a lot of ink, but putting cards in her hand lets her play characters in waves, which is not great. Replay Clarabelle, I assume. Merfolk, replay Merfolk.
Not yet.
Okay. You think you can get your hand low enough without running the risk of wiping the board? Okay.
How many cards are in your hand? None, right?
Well, it's your hand. It's important here.
But, I mean, there's no cards in your hand.
Correct.
So. Pass.
Good.
Yeah.
It's not quite lethal, but it's scary. If I can get, oh my god.
I mean, that's good.
1, 2,
I mean,
3,
you can't
4,
play
5.
B prep now, but you
No.
can play.
Oh my god.
Still no Sisu.
Still
You
no
want your hand?
Sisu. No, I don't
Okay.
think I need it. It's gonna be a pretty quick choice, I think. Yeah, I think it's gotta be this one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question becomes, what do we do here, right? Like, I think there's, like, we could trade the Sisu into the Madam Mim, but, like, Sisu on this board is almost as effective as, well, I mean, like, Grammatala into Clarabelle is one thing. I think we definitely have to answer the Madam Mim here. Like, we just kind of have to. There's no choice. I think I have to take those trades when I can get them.
Well, yeah, and if you let her sit there, then I would go up to 19, so Goat wins it
Right.
without anything else.
Go ahead.
Not a goat.
Yep. Yep.
Pass.
Is it cost?
With strength.
Strength. So, good reason to trade off that Sisu that I didn't think about. I mean, totally thought that went through. Gotcha.
Yeah, but I don't know if I wanted that. Probably a goat.
I think I'm just going to ink this Kuzco, because I can't play him here. Go ahead. He helps pressure, but...
But it's a good card.
Yup. That's the win there, so we have to find an answer.
Pass.
I know I put Anne Maleficent on the bottom. I can't remember if I put 2 on the bottom. I didn't.
Ugh. Oh no! Now you're getting up there. Did you win next turn?
That's the win next turn.
So I don't even think anything.
I'm going to ink Maui because he doesn't matter. I'm pass.
No! 15. Yeah, just with those two. And I can't bounce Grandma anyway. That was close.
That was real close.
Ugh.
The Red Blue
I felt
Menace.
like I was winning that one.
The Red Blue Menace always gets its popsicle? I don't know what it gets. That was a good top deck for once. Yeah, and I know I put a bunch of Medusas on the bottom, so it was like, then I was in a situation, I was like, Ice Block Medusa, but I know I moved all that to the bottom, so it was like, I was tanking real hard. I'm like, pretty sure I've only seen one dragon. Just one, and I pushed it to the bottom. But I did have to ink 3 Tamatoas that game in the early part of the game, which was horrendous. So let's open up our last pack in thanks for everybody joining us for the stream. Really appreciate all the positive feedback. Really appreciate the kind words, the support. Again, one last plug while we're opening a pack. Illumination Podcast coming at you every other Wednesday. Anywhere you get a podcast, you can see it right under our logo here. That square under the logo is where we are going to put, I want to get a webcam kind of like over here. You can't see it, but I'll like gesture off screen here. That will go in that position, and we'll be able to take a card and put it under there, and it'll be zoomed in. So it'll be like a nice tight macro or micro webcam on that card, so that everybody can see what it is in case somebody's like, what's that card do?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, appreciate the kind words. Thanks. Yeah, so everybody will be able to see the cards a little bit better. And when we open these packs, we can throw them under there and stuff. We've done it with our pack openings before. I just don't love using one of these webcams above us. I think it does a pretty good job here for this angle, but I think for a tighter, they make some nicer product kind of based, like, oh, this is for people who are like doing webcam stuff like Pixelborn Connect or product like photographs or video or something like that. I want to try to look into something like that without breaking the bank. So, that's one improvement. We'll definitely have a little bit of a nicer setup from a production design standpoint. We have some of the cool banners that we got from our local game store. They're very kind to provide that to all the local players. And we'll be able to get those up and hopefully have maybe just like a better camera angle of Sam and myself as needed to talk back and forth and have like a more discussion-based forum as well. So I just want to take this space, which will be a more permanent setup, and kind of make it as versatile as possible for all the Lorcana stuff anybody wants to see. So if you have any ideas, feel free to drop us a line. You can hit us up on Facebook, Illumination Podcast over on Facebook. I think it's Illumination. Is it Illumination Disney Podcast?
Disney.
Or Lorcana Illumination. I don't know. We're
you
bad
in
with
2 seconds.
socials. Yeah. So you can hit us up on the socials if you have suggestions. Like, hey, this would be a really cool idea. Feel free to just shoot us a direct message.
Illumination Podcast.
Illumination Podcast over on Facebook. So you can drop us a direct message on here as well on the Superliminal Entertainment page. Again, Superliminal Entertainment, that is all of us plus more doing all kinds of good nerdy stuff. If this is your jam and you like video games and you like magics and you like all that good stuff, plenty to see over on our YouTube channel or here on VODs on Twitch. It's youtube.com/SupraliminalFilms. If you can spell it, you can find it. Appreciate everybody being here. This is the last pack for the stream. This is a Daisy Duck, or Della Duck, excuse me, a DeVille Manor, Pua, a Vault Door, an Eeyore, a Joshua Sweet for our commons. Not a bad little arrangement. We got Raleigh, Mama Odie, and one of my favorites, Friar Tuck. Our first rare or above is one Captain Hookmaster Swordsman. Under that's another rare. Oh,
Baloo. He's
big
good.
boy Baloo. And then under that's a foil common. Oh,
Sure is.
somebody's telling me something.
Put them back in the deck.
Put them back in, and again, we're on square corners if anybody's interested on that front, if anybody tracks that data. Yeah, if you want to switch back to the webcam view, we'll sign ourselves off for the stream. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, so behind us, you'll see stuff. There'll probably be a little bit maybe better of an angle or at least something here. You'll still have to deal with this light. I have the remote for this light. It is somewhere. I think it ended up, again, in the void that is my file cabinet, so I have to find that, but I should be able to switch it off for this angle so you can kind of look at us without staring directly into a very bright light when that comes up. So we're working on all that. Lots more to come. I think we have a lot of good stuff to bring you. So appreciate everybody being here. Sam, you always do the sign-off. So until next time.
Keep questing.